Hello and welcome back. Oh good, the comments ended up showing up. It was just an empty box there for a moment, but hello. I'm sitting on a delightful cushion that Dylan got for me. My name's TJ.
And I'm Bryce, and I don't have a cushion.
And we're streaming from Geek Fortress in Snohomish, Washington, having a tip-top time here and back from Portland. We certainly missed you all. Hello to each and every single one of you. Tevin, you played in your first Magic event this week. Ever?
I don't know if I believe that.
I'm not entirely
sure.
sure.
You've talked several times about going to invitationals.
Do we have a mod that has never once played Magic? Because if so, that's awesome. But nonetheless, yeah, this cushion is delightful. Cannot tell you. Does it look fantastic?
It looks pretty nice.
It looks pretty great. So it's time for me to tell you all something extra quick, and I'm going to keep talking this throughout. We have told you before that we are currently working on a Geek Fortress website which you can buy product. And frankly, I haven't had the chance to look at it yet because I found out today. But the online store is now ready. And if you have any Magic the Gathering needs, at least
or wants,
as it currently sits, you can go to the link which I have likely posted right around now and check it out. It is going to be fun. It is going to be just, yeah, hopefully it's good, and if you have any needs and want to support the store in any sort of way, you can go there, do some clickety-clacking, and I assume it'll work well. I don't know. I'm going to start using it. I'm just going to hit the pickup button. It looks like an online store, so it's definitely worth checking it out. And, Chillith, I know you've never played Magic. You think Death and Taxes is good. Boom.
I don't know. You've seen the 2 new cards for it?
Oh, well, now it's good. The price is in U.S. dollarinos. We're streaming out of Snohomish, Washington, in the Pacific Northwest of the U.S., which finds itself on the North American continent within the planet Earth, which, if you happen to not be on, feel free to toss it into that chat, because that's particularly interesting.
That would be pretty sweet if just, like, random people were watching. Perfect. That's that. I'm gonna go find us a Barons. I'll be right back.
Let me clarify really quickly. Death and Taxes is actually sweet. This is the only shot that I could take, Chillith. I don't. I actually do really like Death in Texas. I'll go ahead and backpedal a little bit. Gwydion, it's good to see you. How are you doing? I saw the shot that I could take, and that's pretty much the best one I could come up with in the moment. So, as always, no, the new cards are incredible, but as always, if you find yourself on that new website, feedback is always very important because this website was basically made today, and Dylan spent the last several days trapped at his computer putting in everything in person. So if you have any feedback on the website, always feel free to reach out to the store and let him know, because he wants this to be successful. I really want this to be successful for him. And any way that I can facilitate making that happen is, I think, going to be a really big part, and can really show potentially the value of this stream from a monetary perspective, because currently we don't actually make any money doing this. We did apply for Twitch partnership. We were denied. I found out yesterday, so we're going to try again in a couple of weeks. But basically, we remain as a non-monetary source, and so this website gives us an opportunity to potentially prove our worth to him in some sort of tangible way. Tell me a little bit, round one.
Round one, we've got a sweet one.
I like sweet ones, like a lollipop.
Just like a lollipop. Facing the wall, you've got Harry.
Do go on.
He is up against Aaron Britton.
Ooh, now I like this matchup already. You promised me sweetness, and I believe you have delivered. Tell me a little bit about what Harry's on.
Harry is on Bant Control.
Does it have what I think it has?
It has Spell Quellers alongside...
But not Wargate.
I don't think it has Wargate.
No!
I didn't see a Wargate when I was going through.
Oh, okay.
Goodbye. It's Texas.
Texas is here.
Hi, Texas.
Weston, it is www.geekfortressgames.com.
What?
Absolutely. The dude, my love of Burn is counterproductive, potentially. That's why. That's why we didn't actually...
And then on the other side, Aaron is on the red-green Ponza or Land Destruction deck.
I'm going to call it Land Destruction just in case people don't know quite what the deck is. Let's head on down for round one. It is going to initial two.
We missed you too.
I very legitimately missed you all. It was quite the weekend. I'm so glad to be back. But, oh man.
Things.
All right, let's go have some fun because it is Bant Control versus Land Destruction.
Should be sweet.
Yeah. Alright, so we're taking a look at an empty board right now, which of course does find us at the beginning of the game. Now, let's talk a little bit about what we can expect from Aaron's side of the field. This is almost exactly the list that Eric Froelich performed well at GPLA. I mean, it's one of the few times that you'll see Stone Rain cast in Modern. Gwydion Wolf, because you asked so nicely, yes, as long as you don't spam it, but one is fine, and if anybody would like to provide some constructive criticism, that would be fantastic. Any way that we can help Gwydion Wolf potentially improve their deck and develop as a Magic player. Jillith, I will do my best. I feel like I owe it to you now.
I don't know if it's out there.
That's fair, but if I can, I'll do my best. So this red-green Land Destruction kind of operates as an interesting way of it's going to start off...
Spirit Chiller.
Absolutely. Congratulations. That's awesome. Keep fighting the good fight. So, an Arbor Elf turn 1, and we're going to...
We're ramping.
We're ramping. And it's really great because this deck is really trying to skip to turn 3 as early as possible. Basically, it's going to jump up into the turn 3 on its second turn, and it's going to start operating on these Land Destruction effects. Really trying to set Harry back.
There's Goyf.
Tarmogoyf is...
I guess it might be considered mid-range, I don't know. It's got Tarmogoyf, it's got Spell Queller, it's got Geist's Ape Draft. Those were the main ones I saw. He's playing Vines of Vastwood to protect probably Spell Queller. And he's also playing...
Vines of Vastwood?
That's
interesting.
I also saw a Simic Charm in there.
So this is like a Bant Tempo almost.
Bant Tempo, mid-rangey. I called it Bant Control because he's got a bunch of counter spells and stuff as well.
Tempo? I'm going to say Bant Tempo.
We'll go Tempo for now.
Interesting.
He lost against Blue Red Burn. It's a sweet deck.
Yeah,
All right,
but
well,
ours is
Stone
cooler.
Rain.
So, we do see a Stone Rain taking down Harry's mana base, and Stone Rain, of course, 3 mana, red and 2 colorless, destroy target land. One of the, basically the iconic land destruction spells.
Spreading Seas You.
One of the less iconic land destruction spells
And
coming
B for
back
2.
at him.
15.
So Aaron really looking for a red source right now. And if he doesn't find one, this is actually going to be a huge destabilization to his game plan. Now, if he does have something like a Beast Within, he will have the ability to go for something along the line of either taking down a land, and that's not bad, or he can even take down the own Spreading Seas to re-enable his red mana and give himself that 3/3 Beast to start contending with Harry's board. Otherwise, he does get that fetch, so he's got
In
the...
Harry's upkeep, Aaron is fetching.
Now, what instant speed effects are we looking at here? Because
Like maybe Beast Within?
and especially not going for a red source.
I mean, I guess he probably wants to just Beast Within the Tarmogoyf before it grows any bigger.
I'm not sure if I like that. I think I really like going for the Spreading Seas in that situation. But we are going to activate this Arbor Elf, and
He
it
is
looks
gonna
like
Beast
it's the
Within
Beast
Arbor
with him.
Elf.
I really liked hitting the Spreading Seas with it.
I like hitting the Spreading Seas with
It
it.
does grow the Tarmogoyf, however. It does put an enchantment into that yard. You end up with
Uh,
land sorcery.
Civic Charm get you. Nuh-uh.
Yeah, I definitely like
Nuh-uh.
taking down the Spreading Seas now. Oh my
Civic
goodness.
Charmed.
Decade Zerg, it's great to see you. MBCA, hello, hello. Demo, Spirit Chiller, Weston, MTG Maniac,
Attack for
Whittling
3.
Wolf, the Scarlet Spud, Chilleth, Initial Tooth, Reinhardt, Zediker, the Dude.
So many peeps already.
Seriously, I'm loving it.
It's
I'm
like
loving it.
Easter up in here.
Terpskadai, as Blacketer? I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that one, to be frank with you.
It's
Tedden.
as black, add 3 red.
Oh, there. Oh,
It's what it looks like to me.
interesting. Austin the Nerd. Nonetheless, hello to you all. It's phenomenal to have you all here. Okay, yeah, this is interesting. So,
So, double red.
Aaron really punishing himself a little bit on that lack of red
he's down
sources
to
too.
8.
He does have access to 1 red source
Here's
as it currently
Inferno
sits, and this
Looks
is
like
going
it's gonna bolt Harry.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of consideration for taking down the Tarmogoyf because it just doesn't do a whole lot to actually put your energy into that one.
There's a path.
And Aaron's in a tight spot.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think kind of the turning point may have been not giving it. I think going for the Tarmogoyf was kind of a fine play, but I really, really do agree with the idea of going for the Spreading Seas because, one, it gives you something that can somewhat contend with this Tarmogoyf. It was a 2-3 at the time. You would have had a 3-3 going up against a 3-4, but combined with one of these Arbor Elves who might have been able to present a board that could at least negate that, or at least buy yourself a turn. And when you can potentially continue shutting down Harry, but that one Simic Charm, which would have been fairly irrelevant throughout the game, maybe, I mean, bouncing an Arbor Elf is okay, but it's not a great tempo swing in your favor.
Thragtusk
Thragtusk, not bad, however.
puts him to 10.
But when you're looking at a card like that, which is really based around protecting your permanents, but it doesn't do, because is it target permanent, target creature you control gains hexproof? On that.
It's permanents you control gain hexproof.
Okay, so
which
you
was
actually
it was
could've-
really sweet back in the day with the Bant hexproof Auras deck,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone was playing Acidic Slime at the time. So your opponent would play Acidic Slime, and you just like make my stuff hexproof. Go ahead and hit something for yourself.
Well, that is interesting. I do like that.
Stone Rain yourself. How about that?
Okay. Hey, Time Knight, it's good to see you. You never know. Hoogland's been kind to us before about hosting over to us, so maybe we'll get a little bit of a viewer dump into here.
How long is Todd going tonight? Do you know? Did he say?
Todd's finishing a league and then he might end, so
Okay,
we might get
he
some
might, he
people
might
from
send
Todd's.
send some stuff our way there too.
Yep.
So.
Just to keep the good flow going, if you haven't yet, be sure to check out Todd Stevens on Tuesdays and Thursdays normally. Awesome stream. And it really supplements the days in which you really need that Geek Fortress feel,
Well,
but
there's
we
a
aren't here.
Path
Look at that
on-
path. My goodness.
Alright.
Weston, no,
Right.
not running the Mygen of Infinite Rage. Oh my goodness. So, having this double Arbor Elf, but still, I mean, it does mean that Aaron does have access to 3 red sources in most situations. This deck has access to a good amount of finishers in these Inferno Titans. I think there have historically been some Bonfires, things like that. And this block on the Tarmogoyf is going to do a lot to buy Aaron some time.
The Goyf should not have killed both those. He blocked with a 3/3 and a 1/1.
One of those is alive.
What was the block that happened there? On a 3/4 Goyf, right? Yeah. So 1 should be alive. 3/3 and 1/1? Okay.
It's okay. Okay, the Death and Taxes, the new recruiter of the something or other.
Yeah, the new recruiter and the 3-mana
name
2/2
name a number.
Chalice of the Void on legs.
Yeah, man, those cards are really good if you really like Benjamin Franklin. Is that too obscure?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, not for me. I don't know about you guys.
That's the one, Recruiter of the Guard and Sanctum Prelate.
That was it.
By the way, as a quick note, thank you so much to the Scarlet Spud and to Zediker and to some of the other people who are talking to and assisting Gwydion Wolf. Thank you so much for taking part in that discussion. You guys are the best.
Absolutely.
So
there's another Tarmogoyf. It's 4/5 now.
It's always good to have backup, you know. And so the Tarmogoyf comes down. A 4/5 not going to be so easily traded with. And it looks like, ooh, Aaron I think does have an Eternal Witness in hand.
Sprawl.
Now the unfortunate thing is that those 2 game-ending threats were actually Path to Exile. So Aaron's Eternal Witness not doing as much as you would like.
Yeah. Can you get back a land or like?
He can bring back a Stone
Ring.
Ring.
Beast Within or Stone Ring.
And a Beast Within could at least enable him to maybe do a stack block and try and take down this Tarmogoyf again, but I don't think that that's the direction that you're going. I think that Aaron is really relying on the fact that he probably has some pretty fine top deck potential in this deck. When you're looking at these threats like multiple Obstinate Beleth, multiple Inferno Titan, you've got a Chandra which has an ability to draw you extra cards.
So it looks like he is going to get back Beast Within and go for a Beast Within.
Okay, and I think he'd just rather deal with a 3/3 than a 4/5. That's not unreasonable.
That's a fair thing. And here comes Chandra again. Let's see if Harry has a counterspell for her this time. Perhaps a Spell Queller.
Scarlet Dragonslayer, it is good to see you. So we do have the Chandra. I'm expecting potentially a 0 to be coming up here just to keep trying to draw. Now, the only thing that you might see a little bit different is just by the fact that he can't cast whatever he goes for. Mm-hmm. We might see potentially him go for just a take up, knock him down to 12, apply a tiny bit of a clock, and look to see this Eternal Witness get in the way of this beast.
It is not M&M, it's a little bead type thing.
Aaron got a craving for a snack. So Aaron is actually using these beads to tell us what color he chose. So he has
red.
He has a bead in each color, and that is actually representing that he named red with it, which I think is actually a pretty nice touch and
nifty.
I think it was mostly both for his opponent's benefit, but also largely for ours. And that cuts Harry completely off of green mana. And that's actually probably a fairly base color. Now, Spell Queller is still an option for him.
Green is a splash.
But if he's not casting that Spell Queller now, then I don't think it's going to be cast for a while. And we are seeing a basic...
half his beast to go get a forest.
That is particularly clever. Now, if I'm Harry, I may have actually used my Hallowed Fountain to do that, just from a sequencing perspective.
Yeah, that way you can keep up a white of some kind.
That way you keep up a white mana, and at least you're able to represent further.
Well, Chandra's going to plus up and reveal in one volley Acid Moss, which is probably going to take out that forest area.
Probably going to take out the...
Awkward.
Woo! Got it. Nailed it. So, that card, pretty unusual. It destroys a land, and you get to search up a forest, put it into play tapped, and I believe that is for the low cost of 4, isn't it?
2 green.
Yeah, that is. I mean, usually it's too much. But in this deck, it works out right now. Scarlet Dragonslayer, yes, he is. It is much closer to Eric Froehlich's deck, which was from
GPLA.
Thank you, GPLA. However, it is in the similar vein, and Ifra was kind of the first one to perform well with it. So a Primal Command getting cast.
Primal Command.
Time Walking, it is good to see you. I can't tell you all, by the way. I'm really focusing on the game right now. But I can't tell you how excited I am to be back. I missed you all this weekend. I'm happy to be here. And best friend for Ev! It's great to see you! I was wondering where you were all my life, but thank you so much for hitting that follow button. You were a rock
Harry
star.
gonna scoop it up.
And welcome to the Fortnites. And
Blood Moon being
Aaron.
the lock piece that Aaron needed.
yeah, that was an incredible drop down and be able to survive against a deck. Now, Aaron may not be aware of it, but there are spell queller's in this deck. There's a decent amount of permission. And be able to get through that, fairly convenient. And, you know, when you start going for this, he clearly prioritized highly enough to really take down pretty much what was his only advantage to try and get back into this game using a basic forest. Aaron recognizing that and taking that to eliminate that option. Mm-hmm. Great play by Aaron. Whew. Tebin, thank you. I missed you. And hello to everybody. Ooh, you've been watching us on YouTube for months?
Welcome!
That's fantastic. Thank you
for
so
catching it
much.
live.
I hope that you have been enjoying it. From the perspective of someone who's never had the opportunity to speak with us before, thank you so much for joining us. Let us know where you're watching from, what you like to play, and I guess what allowed you to catch this broadcast. But now is the time, because I'm sure that this whole time you've been looking at your YouTube screen saying, TJ, Bryce, Geek Fortress, this. And this is where your statement goes.
Oh, okay, so it's actually a statement.
So
Okay,
if there
like,
is something that for the last
this.
couple of months that you have just wanted to say, get off your chest,
If you wanted to yell at us
Ululate.
for some reason.
if you have wanted to ululate a thought, then
Really? That's the verb you went for?
you know, sometimes you gotta stir the noodles.
Sure.
I missed it. It's so good to be here.
I mean, to be fair, Friday night you were pretty much doing sort of the same thing. That meetup was a lot of fun.
That meetup was so much fun. Oh, I got to eat pizza and say hi to people and lose Magic games.
And win a couple.
Yeah, I got all the bad draws out. Wait, no, I didn't. No.
Tuning in from Washington, D.C., the other Washington.
You are our rival as far as Washingtons go. I love it. Thank you so much for watching from the other side of the country. It's phenomenal having you, and hopefully we do a good enough job saying Washington State that you didn't get so confused that you started driving out your door and looking for us.
First time tournament attendance. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. It's the most important part.
Learn. Basically, yeah. I guess go in with the acceptance that you are going to learn. Don't put too much stock into like your performance from a numerical perspective, and instead just try and play good Magic and have fun and talk to your opponents. That's going to be huge. If you can get interaction happening, the strength of this game is in its community, and if you can meet people and have some fun there, then that's going to be huge. Other than that, bring water. Bring some snacks that are healthy. Granola bars, fruit snacks, things like that.
Fruit snacks!
Fruit snacks are great. It's a staple of our tournament appearance. But be prepared for a long day. Okay. You play Obzon and Infected Modern. That's awesome.
Hi, Tournament Noble Hierarch.
Turn one. It's good to see
I am
you.
attending a PPTQ in an extremely competitive area on Saturday. My options are Infect, Malira, Cord, Kiki Cord, Elves, Red Green, and maybe Vogels. Infect. Infect's the right answer.
Also, just whatever you were most comfortable with, but really make sure that, like, whatever you take, at least have a game plan for Dredge.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sideboard some Grafdigger's Cages or something. It's going to be important. Time Night, thank you for plugging us in other streams. We
Corn
appreciate
chips, you're a rock star.
But don't go too far.
As much as I appreciate it, I'm really still new enough to Twitch that I'm not entirely sure the etiquette of like plugging in other streams. So I guess just remain respectful with it. But nonetheless, I agree with it. I'm sorry. I thank you for
Appreciate it.
There we go. That's the word. Appreciate. Black Iron Barkus, it's good to see you. Hold on. Oh, that's for Black Iron Barkus. Tim, it is good to see you. I hope that you are enjoying the deck. Standard is fun. I recommend Mono Red Burn. we put 3 of it into day 2. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. We talked about some changes. We might put something up on the Magic subreddit at some point about it, about what we would do, what we played, how it felt, and what we would change. But
That's a bit more reasonable time night. At least it organically came up, kind of. But how was the Red-Green Ponza deck? So, it's hard to come up with any very definitive answers, because there's not a ton of people playing it. And the only results that I can draw from are from people who are extremely skilled in the game. And that can sometimes skew it. And so it doesn't have, like, the same plug numbers that I can definitively say, but I can tell you that it's got game. It can take people by surprise, and it can do a pretty solid job, especially in a local environment. So if that's the deck that you want to play and you will enjoy, it is a sweet deck. Absolutely cool. If you were playing with like a particularly small play group, definitely take in consideration how it might affect them, because at the end of the day, it is a game, and especially in smaller play groups where you don't have the same variety in games that you get to play, if you were playing a deck that your play group inherently dislikes, while it is in the spirit of the game to be able to play anything, it's a consideration. I know that a lot of small groups, Lantern isn't really the wisest deck to bring into your play group. It is the point that I'm trying to make.
People won't like you.
But the deck is sweet, to make no mistake.
All right, well, Tarmogoyf comes down.
Aaron?
How is Merfolk versus Dredge? I think that goes in favor of Dredge most of the time.
So a second Tarmogoyf coming down, Merfolk versus Dredge. I haven't really seen that matchup, and it's hard for me to evaluate the matchup a ton. But I have to think that Dredge is probably decently favored, just because it's able to put down the damage so much sooner. But it is also a little bit probably less consistent than Merfolk, because Merfolk is just such a well-tuned machine,
Scarlet Dragon Slayer asks what your thoughts are on Scred Red, TJ.
That deck's hot. that deck is nice.
Slings fire.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan. It's always in a rough position. It's phenomenal in a meta of creature-based decks and creature control when that's valuable. It struggles so much against spell-based decks, and if you can find a way to temper that, then you will have good results. I mean, actually, unusual that it goes for the singular blue source. This is really screaming Blood Moon to me. I didn't see one in his original hand, so potentially he drew one. But going for that basic land is just screaming Blood Moon to me, and possibly Aaron
is basic lands with both his land destruction.
And I think that Aaron is potentially in the mentality that he's got the double green, restricting him to a single one may not be hugely relevant. But if you can maybe get the blowout, I mean, look at how effective it was last time. Restricting him off of some of those base level colors just completely ended the game on Harry's side of the field. Thragtusk is not bad.
Fraggles. How you doing, Thragtusk?
Oh my goodness.
And
that is
Birds of Paradise.
That is awesome. You're known for playing Infect, but you don't have... That is, I believe you. I believe you. Okay. Personally, I like playing what you know, and I think in Modern that matters a lot. So,
Path going for Thragtusk.
Man, just like last time, but this time, Harry definitely going for the dual land here.
I don't know if he has another basic planes.
It is, I mean, that's very possible that's the motivation behind him going for that play. It could also be because I can't imagine a world in which that triple blue is hyper important unless Harry's running something along the lines of Cryptic Command.
Eternal Noble Hierarch, instead of Dryad Arbor, may I suggest Nissa, Voice of Zendikar.
I talked to someone at the GP about it, and they did not like the idea.
Really?
Yeah, but it's really sweet. I think it's at least worth testing.
I've liked it so far.
It's unintuitive, I'll give it that. And Aaron, who's down to 12, does have a 3/3 beast, but not really going to be able to compete hugely well with this because I believe, we're looking at some
4/5s now because of the creature in there.
And Aaron just drew lots of land. Thragtusk is leave the battlefield. K-Marky, definitely not dies. And hello to the 77 people here. Thank you so much. If you haven't yet, be sure to hit that follow button. It means the world to us to have you here. I'm absolutely thrilled to get back. And I will tell you what, we may have gotten denied for a Twitch partnership, but we're going to keep coming back.
There we go. Noble Hierarch likes the Nissa.
Nice.
There we go.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Thank you for the reinforcement of the idea. But yeah,
Aaron's going to be taking at least 7 here.
I mean, he has to. He's not left with many options unless going
he
to
doesn't
1 is a
have
viable
to-
option for
Yeah.
him.
Going on with a fetch land in play.
Nope, and he's picking up. We're going to a game
Yep.
3. Harry enacted his game plan so solid.
Played the tempo game he wanted to. Land Tarmogoyf, attack you with it, get your stuff out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Magic Weiser, apologies for that one. I'm sorry that you don't enjoy it. We try and get a variety of decks, and at least letting us know matters. My thought was, and I'm sure your thought who was that it's a sweet deck that you often don't get the opportunity to see
Yeah.
very often, and so just demonstrating what it's able to do. But we do try and get a mix of things, and I think my ideal matchups are like a tier 1 versus something a little bit unconventional, or brew versus brew is fun. Tier 1 versus tier 1 is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at least one of our strengths in my mind is our ability to really demonstrate the variety that you'll find in Modern, both on the top tables and at your local F&M. And so apologies
yes.
nonetheless. I hear what you're saying, and it's relevant to us to know that.
Major Bear, yes, he is playing Geist of St. Trapt on the list.
Miffy5839, thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome from Australia, and thank you so much for loving the Modern streaming. If you do enjoy this stream, remember, you can hit that follow button, which is either up there or down there, and you can join us every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday for more Magic Geek Fortress streaming. Every Monday at 6:30 Pacific time we stream Standard. Every Wednesday at 7 and Saturday at 6 we stream Modern. And every Legacy at 7:30 we stream... Every Friday, did I say Legacy?
I think you said every Legacy at
And
at
every
7:30.
every Friday at 7:30 we stream Legacy. And as a special stream this coming Sunday,
Sunday.
you can join us at noon Pacific time for a Popper tournament.
Popper!
Proper paper Popper pontificating
Popper.
post haste. It's going to be awesome.
Popper.
Have we seen or tested the Obzon Evolution decks?
I've seen it.
I've seen the Darwin Cord. I haven't really seen much of the Obzon Evolution decks. I agree that any kind of deck that can run those silver bullets is going to be sweet, and I'd love to see further developments on them. Okay.
That's Tim's, right? Asking about the Bant Spirits deck. Yeah, I saw the Bant Spirits deck. That's one that Caleb Durward put together, right? Looked sweet. Looked like a sweet deck. I'd definitely give it a shot.
Cool decks are cool. Last round, Moontoad Foot. No. We are currently in round 1 of 4. There's lots more Magic to go here at Geek Fortress. I'm assuming that you're doing 1 out of 4, not 5? Not an unconventional 5? Naturally, I just wanted to clarify a little bit. Turn 1 Noble Hierarch. We also experienced that if our opponent resolved a Sorin, they usually won. Man, Portland, I will admit, Standard was significantly more fun than expected. That's a sweet, sweet bonfire. Aaron's got an interesting decision to make with this. It's lands, Utopia Sprawls, bonfire.
Okay.
This is a hand that is designed... Basically, what Aaron wants to do is draw well, sweep the board, move forward. Okay.
No, Obzon is the new name for green, white, black.
Yes. So, Obzon is ABZAN, and it is the color combination of green, black, and white. And so it's named for one of the clans from Khans of Tarkir, and basically the deck as it exists within Modern, one of them tends to be very value-oriented of just playing the best cards in those colors. And the other one is somewhat of a combo deck that plays a similar thing, but with a lot of value creatures and has this infinite combo, but doesn't have as much of a way to interact with their opponent outside of that very creature-based strategy.
What do you think of Living End in Modern? I think Living End is in a decent spot right now. I think, unfortunately, though, all the graveyard hate that is going to come out for Dredge is going to put a hurt on Living End.
Yep. Black Iron Barkus, my apologies. I tried to respond when I could. No cards in hand. Thank you so much for hitting that follow button. I can always appreciate a little bit of madness in this chat.
Of course, if everybody's just bringing Grafdigger's Cage, then Living End looks fine.
Whew. Okay. We were playing Mono Red Burn with some sweet, sweet spice. Most notably, we had Reality Smashers in the sideboard. It was awesome. It was
Smasher so good.
It was a lot of fun. Going back, we'd change a couple of things to prepare if we had given ourselves more time to prepare and practice.
Change the 2-drop slot a little bit.
Yeah. But that is the way that it goes.
Add some sweet sideboard cards.
Okay. Whew. So Aaron, heading into what is essentially his turn 3 on his turn 2, because of this Utopia Sprawl, which means that anytime that he taps that forest, it actually taps for a red mana as well. So he could pull the green and a red mana just for tapping that, putting another Utopia Sprawl on this one. Now, if he drew into anything beyond a land,
Red again.
looks like we still have just got access to this
Lands
bonfire.
and bonfire, yeah.
But as long as Harry is not actually casting any creatures, this seems okay by Aaron, because eventually this is a pretty devastating win con that he's holding in his hand. Maybe not a win condition in the sense that it is going to end the game directly as a result of the damage that it deals, killing Harry. But it's a spell that when it resolves, if you were playing with as much mana as Aaron has access to, it can very much be this turning point that with a singular card you can devastate your opponent's game plan and really start spinning the wheels moving forward.
Devastating.
Devastating. Oh, well, tremendous damage. No, they're not Skittles. They're just little markers. Oh, man. Turn with Noble Harak. I usually try and have some kind of plan, but I've been known to make some changes occasionally. So,
seems like a fine play.
yeah, Kitchen Fink's phenomenal card.
Sticky threat.
It's going to contend well against that
Oh.
bonfire as it goes. Woo, a lot of text. I'm going to power through it.
Go ahead and read. I'll
Okay.
keep an eye on what's going on.
There we go.
So, Wooded Foothills for Aaron is his land. Nice little fetch land there. But it doesn't look like he's got much else as far as action goes. Still not much.
Dryad Militant. It'll give you this weird accidental edge against cards like Snapcaster Mage. So I like Dryad Militant as a 2/1 for 1 that just happens to have this accidental upside. I recommend that card.
Kessig Prowler also has the upside of being able to pay 5 mana later and turn it into a 4/4 that can only be blocked by 1 creature.
That is definitely not a bad one. I'm not really sure if I want to load it up with 4 of those, however. I can understand going for that, but I think that if my intent is to continue curving out, the Kessig Prowler gives you kind of this out for if you expect to run out of gas. But I think Dryad Militant really lines up better with your just game plan, which is being a 2/1, that's what it's going to be, and if it can disrupt your opponent in some kind of actually progressive way.
Primal Command puts Breeding Pool on top of Harry's deck and gets Aaron an Inferno Titan.
Yeah, this putting the Breeding Pool on top is a really interesting play.
I think Aaron's at 15 from the bench.
And going for that just strikes me as a little bit odd. So his game plan at that point seems to be just keeping Harry from developing too much mana to play with. More because, you know, when you're looking at the other reasonable plays that you can make, shuffling his graveyard in, not big. Gaining 7 life, though, is generally a fairly big gain. So going for that means that he's really prioritizing just these tiny setbacks and maybe trying to play with this huge mana advantage that he has access to currently. Now, I mean, actually a spell code doesn't work here. What counter spells does Harry have access to?
Harry has Remand, he has... he does have Cryptic Command in the deck. I know I saw one.
Okay.
But
and it looks like we're pointing 2 at the Kitchen Finks and 1 at Harry.
Bounding Crisis.
And a Bounding Crassus
yes.
comes down.
Beat in for 5.
Comes down I mean, why not?
Does Harry have a removal spell? He doesn't have a removal spell for Inferno Titan. That's just going to wreak havoc. Unless Harry's got another Crassus.
Fantastic. So,
Bounding Crisis, people.
delightful. JWeb2369, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It's phenomenal having you, and I look forward to interacting with you in the future.
What up, Albino Bear?
Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know how you found us, and let us know what you like to play in Magic. Albino Bear, good to see ya.
Remand that second Inferno Titan, and then half the other one. Oh, wow, okay. So Harry's going to be able to smash in for 5 again, and then if he has some sort of answer to this other Inferno Titan in Aaron's hand... It's not going to go well for Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron's actually had a huge setback, and Harry really enacting this. I think we chose well with going with the tempo one.
Guys, don't joke about Splinter Twin. It's not in the deck.
Oh man, that's
So
funny.
hurtful.
That's funny. Jay Webb, you play Modern, a fully foil 8-rack. Actually, I also own 8-rack. It's not fully foiled, but that is sweet. Congratulations on
forest?
your deck. That deck is sweet.
It doesn't allow Harry to cast Cryptic Command.
No, he does
If
have
he
a
has a
Snapcaster.
Snapcaster, he can snap Remand.
Yeah, and really
Which means Aaron's not in good shape here.
starts to really lead into this question of was bouncing the was putting the breeding pool on top the right play. Potentially Aaron trying to keep his opponent from drawing into some extra removal, those Path to Exiles, keep Harry from having Remand or something relevant spells. It keeps him drawing a relevant spell. But in the end, I'm curious to see what might have been.
Well, there's Thragtusk. That's going to get snap Remanded.
Yep, and that means that Harry is actually... He's still got 3 mana available to him.
He's got 3 mana, so he could cast Bonfire for 1.
He could cast the Bonfire for
But
1.
he's...
It would actually
then
leave
he-
him taking... Oh, and an Eternal
Ewit?
Witness.
Okay.
So that puts him in a position to where he's able
That
to
gets back
block
Primal Command.
the Bounding Crassus. If Harry doesn't have removal, Harry is alive. And at this point, that's the most you can hope for.
Down to 17. He's going to attack.
So you block, and...
Vines of Vastwood.
nice.
Pop it up.
Sadistic, it's great to see you. And it looks like that Vines of Astrid is just going to come down, take it out, and Harry going to shut the door on Aaron playing this sweet red-green land destruction deck. Now, this band's off to a good start. That its ability to just tempo the game, playing his spells in a way that established an early board that wasn't affected by land destruction, and then capitalizing on Aaron's somewhat slower start to really keep those really game-ending threats from developing the board and taking the game over. Great game.
Yeah. Yeah,
Great game
absolutely.
by Harry.
I think that Harry played that very well. I like what his deck is doing. I like that it's kind of, play one, maybe 2 big threats and then protect them. I mean, he's got Semi-Charm and Vines of Vastwood for specifically that, so...
All right, let's head on up to the booth. We're going to try and get into the match for you. We've got 15 minutes left here in round 1. Let's see what we can do. Hello and welcome to the Geek Fortress stream. My name's TJ. It's great to have you, and you are watching Geek Fortress out of Snohomish, Washington, where we do this 4 times a week. Plus, this Sunday we are doing a Pauper tournament. I want to thank you all for joining us today. We're just over 100, and I can't just tell you how much I appreciate every single one of you. We're back from Portland. We did fairly well. I had a blast. I got to meet some of you, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be back in the saddle and back in the booth.
Everyone's done playing. Round 1 is about to end, so...
Oh, round 2 looks like it's coming up.
What?
Conspiracy 2 is insane. The amount of
Are you
playable
sure that's not
cards.
Eldritch Moon or Eternal Masters?
Okay, there we go. There we go. But that deck is just, or the set looks incredible. It
Looks
just
like
does.
a lot of fun so far.
I mean, you've got some phenomenal legacy cards being printed. You've got some killer reprints. Serum Visions and Inquisition already kind of a fairly big game in the whole realm of things. And yeah, they're knocking it out of the park with this set. And especially when you look at Conspiracy 2 being a set that is print to demand. This is not one of these limited print run sets. This is not one of the ones in which you see, yes, there's a limited number, buy them up while you can, hoard them up. No, this is a set that
This
as
is-
long as it's
we're
open,
printing it.
they're printing it. That's as long that is the case that we have.
Yep.
So if this set is as fun to draft as it looks like it's going to be as we jump into things initially, this is going to be big, and this could be a great way to start approaching these much needed reprints. When you look at them, also some of these really hyper powerful cards in draft just don't have the same sway in multiplayer, which makes it a fairly safe environment to reprint them as well. I love it.
Yep.
That's kind of that's what I got for you. That was my spiel. Hopefully,
All right, well, next round's up. I'm going to grab us.
let's get something, and I don't need that. All right, boom. we're gonna move forward. We're gonna have some fun. I hope you're all having a great night. Since you're all here, almost 100 of you, as we get ready for round 2, let me know. Toss in that chat. I guess, what did you do last weekend? I spent my weekend in Portland. We took the train down, took the train back up with a bit of a delay. We went down with our Mono Red Burn deck that we spent the 2 weeks before building and tuning and having some fun, starting with Max McFeedy's list, making some changes for preference and for what we think the direction it could have gone. Of the 5 people playing it, we put 3 copies of it into day 2. Of the day 2, I basically fell right in the middle of the group, ending 6-5. I snuck in at 6-3 and then lost the 2 rounds and decided to go do side events and get some lunch and basically just have some fun. I bought 19 Tybalts while I was down there, and it was a ton of fun. So I had an absolute blast there. Harry knocked it out of the park, 10-5. Coleman did 9-4 performance with an incredible day 1 performance, going 7-2, but leading into that he was 7-1. And yeah, did absolutely incredible there. What is my favorite conspiracy mechanic? Now that's a great question. I guess I hadn't really thought on it too much, but I guess the voting cards have always felt really fun for me. That as far as from what I've seen from them, and this new one to where instead of people vote for one outcome, the fact that everybody votes and basically it's pick your poison kind of thing, and they're both good for you, is pretty interesting, and I'll be curious to see how that develops with this one. So I like that one. I actually let's backpedal a bit. Monarch. I can't wait to see how Monarch actually gets played in formats like Legacy and Pauper.
All right, facing the wall is Barrett.
Facing the wall is Barrett. Is that right?
I think that's how it's spelled.
Okay. And what's Barrett's last name?
I don't know. Let me
Okay.
find out.
Let's find out.
He's playing against David.
He's playing against David. So I can tell you all right now, David is on the Dredge deck. It's a little bit unusual. He wasn't able to acquire all the pieces quite yet. Now, last weekend you played Magic for the first time. Bought Death and Tax for, hey, very cool. You watch pros and amateurs alike at Syracuse take your list to advance.
Ends look like ours. His name is Bennett.
Oh. Okay,
That's
Bennett Ellis. Okay.
And he is on Infect.
Infect versus Dredge. This is going to be a fast matchup.
Bad it should be.
What was Coleman playing? Coleman was on the same Mono Red Burn list that we were all playing. It was absolutely awesome. Okay. The Dredge list with Gargadon and Shriekhorn, it is fairly close to that one. I will say that you aren't wrong that Magus was one of the first people playing it. The deck has been around for a bit, and it's basically just recently been seeing some success. So, definitely true. What have we got? Okay, so Dredge versus Infect, which takes your edge?
I think that Infect can typically outrace Dredge, so I'm gonna go on the Infect side.
Infect side? Alright, let's head on down, have some fun. You are all incredible. It's gonna be a great time. Round 2. Let's start. Maybe I should start that timer, but nonetheless, it's going to be a solid time. Now, David, on this Dredge list, which has basically gained a lot of notoriety in a very short amount of time. So, a lot of people, I think that the deck is very much not concrete yet. Rafmar, it's good to see you, and hello to everybody who's back. I missed you all so very much.
He really did. He actually commented on it several times while we were down.
I'm so lonely.
I can't just talk to people.
So the Narcomoeba on hand, pretty much the last place that you want it to be. From this Dredge deck, what we're looking for is 4 things. 2 of them are land. One of them is a card that has the Dredge mechanic printed on it, and the last one is a card that will basically put a card in your graveyard and draw a card.
Yep.
How did we do at the GP? We had 5 people on Mono Red Infect. We put
Mono Red Burn.
Sorry, Mono Red Burn.
Mono Red Infect.
I was looking at the title there. We had we had 5 people playing Mono Red Burn with some spiciness. We had 3 copies of it enter into day 2. We had one of it played by Harry, and at 10-5.
Yep.
Coleman ended up at 9-4.
9-4. Before he was like, meh.
I did not do well on day 2. I ended up 6-5.
6-5.
And then we had you and Eric, who ran into both bad matchups, some rough draws.
Yeah.
The deck needed refinement overall.
It needed tuning. I think where we ended up is a little bit better.
Yeah.
David on a mulligan to 5.
But you did have a very relaxing weekend.
Yes, I got to sleep some.
The Rush, I asked Cedric. Apparently they don't currently have any openings. Now, whether or not that's just his auto response, I'm going to guess. Is that it?
Well, David's got a turn 1 insolent neonate.
Okay. Rathmar, I intend to keep competing. We're going to go to 5 or 6 GPs next year, but I'm going to be honest. I have no expectations for myself as a competitor as long as I'm doing this stream. It's 20 hours a week that I could instead be practicing, that I am instead talking about Magic. Now, this is not me complaining. This is me saying that I get to do this instead. But it affects my ability to play on a competitive level. So, that's the way that it goes. Any chance to see that list? Yes, we will be putting it up as soon as I have an actual list. I'll be tossing it up on Twitter or anything like that.
Yep, we'll put up a list. I think, like I mentioned, we are thinking about
Coleman
up a full-on
Coleman is going to work on it.
Coleman's going to work on that? Okay.
Coleman far and away put more work into that deck than we did. I don't think that'd be right for anyone else to be more involved than him in the write-up.
Absolutely.
So, we've got a turn 1 Glistener Elf, followed up by a Noble Hierarch, which was able to swing into David, who is gonna drop down. Now, I do believe that we're at 2 Infect overall,
Nope.
however.
He blocked.
Oh, no,
with
he blocked with the
Neonate.
Neonate. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Okay, so here's another Neonate, and David still has that Golgari Grave Troll in hand, so that's going to be a good dredger.
Mm-hmm.
For him.
Okay. Actually, I have been considering a mini GP. I was going to call it the Geek Pre. So it would be the Snohomish Geek Pre GP. I have thought about it. I'm still working on Here's the hot secret. We have about 20 projects that we are thinking of, and only so much time to actually implement them. So one day, hopefully, but currently there are other priorities.
Absolutely.
Okay. I think that's going to work better with, I think we were both sitting up kind of high in that.
Oh, were we? But I liked being tall.
No.
Bland pre.
We got to look like Nate
Nice.
Holt and Marshall. Bland pre. Oh, that's both hilarious and savage.
Savk.
All right, so we have got
David, why didn't you just fetch, get back your blood gas, and get back prize mountain? David.
he has the ability to. It looks like we are looking at another Dredger.
Golgari Thug.
David may be playing a little bit unusual here, but David also not playing this deck a little bit. He has dabbled it a bit in the past, and there's going to be somewhat of a saloon point. It's a deck that is somewhat unconventional. So going for this loam, going to be going for those 3 cards, not hitting the card that he's quite looking for yet, but he does have the ability to fetch, bring back a couple of these cards. Now, I do see that he has at least 1 prized amalgam. He does have a Bloodcast. Now, that's still not a lot of damage, actually. Nettle Sentinel, it's great to see you. And you know what? I can understand it, and I will say that this has certainly not taken away my desire to play Magic. But when I don't have a whole lot of option to choose between the two, or I'm sorry, to choose both, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to pick this one essentially every single time.
TJ loves doing what he's doing.
Yeah. It's the best. I'm going to raise my shoulders, bring my arms in tight, touch those little things together, and just look like... Ah. Man, that got weird. My bad.
Slightly.
You know what? If nothing else, I'm enthusiastic. And hopefully our enthusiasm for the game is at least the most notable part about this stream, because I think
Hopefully
that's
it translates.
That's hopefully, like, our interaction with you and our enthusiasm for the game is probably what I think is our most unique perspective, and the thing that I think is missing the most. And while interaction is hard to do on a large scale, I think that the pure enthusiasm and excitement about these plays is something that maybe we can try and convey, and maybe could be done better on some larger stages.
Oh, that quote.
Oh, dang it. Okay, so... what does Dredge want to do?
Split.
let's talk about that a little bit. So Dredge is a deck that is trying to fill its graveyard using and then bring back these creatures and develop a huge board initially by using its graveyard as basically this extra sort of hand. Now when you have cards like Bloodghast, which comes back whenever you play a land, when you have Narcomoeba, which by milling comes into the battlefield, and then you have this Prized Amalgam, which is like, oh look at all these other things joining the party from the graveyard. I'm in. And so he'll come out too, and basically from just a very initial Dredge, you can accelerate this board, then you can go basically pop a land, get out one of those creatures, which brings back more creatures, and suddenly on turn 2, turn 3, this draw, this graveyard that you've been developing suddenly translates into between 5 and 12 damage on the battlefield.
David fetched, got a land, and didn't get back his Bloodghast again.
It's a little bit curious, isn't it?
He is going to play a land and then
okay.
get that back.
So possibly was just saving it to maybe go for the...
It's pretty dangerous to do that, though, against Infect when they do play Spell Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Halake 14, I will say that I would not say no to it. But that is such a lofty goal that I can't even fathom that being my aspiration. That is next level.
Yeah. That's
Let's try and get Twitch partnership. We got denied.
let's do that first.
They said no to us, so that's
first
our next step.
things
They said no to giving us partnership, so our first and foremost step is let's try and prove that we can run our own stream, much less someone else's. So,
Yeah.
David with a Bloodghast, with a Prized Amalgam, entering into the board now, not in the position to untap and be
Bennett
super
just has the
relevant
pump spells.
yet.
David's dead this turn.
Yeah, he has no capacity for blocking as it currently sits.
Yeah.
So, he also does have this Inkmoth Nexus, so let's not forget that, because that is actually a really, really decent one. So, what is Burns' sideboard strategy against Dredge? Usually try and race them and hope that they don't have the gnaw to the bone. But you can go over the top of a lot of it, so that could be interesting.
Time walking, Coleman ended up at 9 and 5. 9 and 4 before he ended up stopping. Okay, so Bennett
Alright.
activating Inkmoth to attack. I don't know if he knows that Bloodghast can't block.
It's possible, or just the flying is a little bit of extra insurance. Let's see here. How long have we been streaming? About 10 months at night, maybe 11. Getting close to 11.
We're getting close to a year now. So 6 poison for David. There are 6 sides on a die.
You know what? Use it. Fives means that you can
5
do
means you
increments
can
of 5.
tick it up. I get it.
Why stop at the X4? He did 9-4. Oh, Coleman did 9-4.
Yeah.
And decided he wanted to go do side events. There was a lot of delays, actually.
The GP was moving so slow.
Um,
There was
It was consistently
every
20
round
to
it was
25
20
minutes.
to 25 minutes. There were times where it was 30. It was bad.
So, isn't 11 and 4 prizes? By our math, not really.
11 and 4 would have gotten top 64 this one.
Oh, really?
Yep.
We thought the draws might have made it a little bit funky, but he wanted to do side events. He wanted to go get some food. He just wanted to relax.
Yep. And I mean, it's understandable when you're a modern player and playing in these standard events. It's definitely a different feeling. So
It was a slow format.
looks like David is going to flashback a Faithless Looting here. I might have considered just casting the imp.
The Stinkweed?
Stinkweed imp, yeah, so that you can you just have a 1/5 essentially death touch, a 1/2 essentially death touch flyer that can kill any of Bennett's creatures.
Yeah, and David really missing on some of these more powerful enablers that he's looking for. Now he does hit another Narcomoeba, so he's gaining some of these 1/1 flyers.
There's a bridge.
And that's fairly relevant that he has those 1/1 flyers, because those are able to contend very, very nicely.
Those block Inkmoth Nexus real good.
Yeah, against the Inkmoth Nexus and against the Glistener Elf itself to really, by having multiple of them, he can even force Ben to start using these pump spells to no actual value.
Now David discarding a couple cards, and in come the Narcomoebas.
The Scarlet Spud, that sounds fantastic. Someone just jogged by your apartment wearing a Teletubby costume. I've only got a dinosaur and a red panda.
Which Teletubby?
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a good question.
There are 4 of them.
Do you know all the names?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Lala, and Po. Come on. I can't even tell you the colors.
I can't remember the last time that I've silently judged this like massively. Like maybe not. Well, now it's done. It's not silent anymore.
The judgment's out there.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm both impressed and completely flabbergasted. Wait,
The yellow one, so it was Lala.
What? No.
Tinky Winky's purple, Dipsy is green, Lala is yellow, and Po is red.
Oh, then I like Poe. Oh my goodness. I was not prepared for that today. I wrote a script and that wasn't on it, and it's just gone now. I'm just gonna hold on.
Throw the script out.
There we go. Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Tevin. I am right.
Amazing. Amazing. So David, had 6 infect, reveals his hand to this Gitaxian probe. We've
Look
got
at my 3
Stinkweed.
Stinkweed.
You know, and those Stinkweed imps also not bad against this infect deck. So next turn he can start dropping those down. The biggest thing is that he's applying pressure. That's notable. So you've got Bennett, who is at 9.
Mm-hmm.
He's continuing to beat down with this Bloodghast and with this Prized Amalgam, both of which, even if they die, not a huge setback for David, who's sitting with a fetch land in hand. Or, I'm sorry, on the battlefield. So that means that if Bennett attacks, he can pass the turn back. He's maybe traded with some cards either on Bennett's battlefield or in his hand, both of which equally effective. And then at the end of Bennett's main phase, you crack it again. Next turn, you get to do it all over again.
David can a triple block.
I think that is actually a
I think
phenomenal
that's a
play.
great choice.
Choosing to triple block. Now, double block
It's
might have been
upspell.
mildly effective there, because it is going to kill them all, and there's not a whole lot of trample. I think I might have agreed a little bit more with a double block
I
in
think double
this
block
case.
is correct, yeah.
But going very, very all in on the strategy. Now, there is another Bloodghast in that graveyard, and Bennett is at a life total in which haste is now a very relevant thing.
Okay, so
And
Bridge
that's
from
why.
Below does trigger. David's going to get 3 zombies, which means Bennett's in real trouble.
That's,
David's gonna be able to bring back the other Bloodghast. He's got a fetch land in play.
yep.
And that's 3, 4, 5.
That means
5
that
2-power creatures and a 3-power creature. Bennett's got 2 blockers. He can block 3.
It's actually
4,
10
5.
damage if he blocks as it is. So actually, David's got a kill on board. If he cracks this fetch land, brings back the Bloodghast, there is a kill
he has
sitting
2
on there.
bridges? Oh, then that's just game.
Or,
That's just game.
or that's pretty good. Oh man. Greater Gargadon, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and give it the credit to Joe for inflating Gargadon's price. Dennis Kamandul, Kamandule, I'm not sure which one it is, but hello, it's great to have you. Welcome to the Geek Fortress stream. Hello to all the Fortnites out there. There's 115 out there. I'll be honest, the stream competition tonight is big. So the fact that there's so many of you here, thank you so much. Whew. But that's the way that it goes. So, 6 zombies sitting on the battlefield,
And
2
2 Bloodghasts come
Bloodghast,
back. Oh, this is...
which means that you actually have 3 Bloodghasts and this Prized Amalgam.
Yeah, this is really bad for
I mean-
Bennett. He's just dead.
Yeah, he is. Have you heard about this popular show? It's got one of the actors who is from Boondock Saints. Acts as this guy who apparently has a crossbow. There's these guys who are particularly hungry in it. I think it's kind of an eating show.
Crowbar Steve. Thanks for hitting that follow.
Clearly, you've seen me play D&D. Crowbar Steve, it's incredible to have you. Welcome to the Fortnites. Thank you so much. You're a rock star, and let us know where you're watching from, how you found us, and what you like to play in Magic. But just anecdotally, I'm not sure if you've ever seen me play a rogue in D&D, but I will tell you what: there is no weapon better than the kit that they give you, the Burglar's Kit. The crowbar, easily the best weapon in the pack.
And David attacks, and we're on to game 2.
Woo! So, David, with a massive board accelerating, frankly, out of nowhere. We were looking at this board, which Bennett was applying a decent amount of pressure. Chinkuza, it's great having you. Thank you so much for hitting that follow button. Thank you for joining the Fortnites. We look forward to interacting with you in the future. Let us know where you're watching from, what you like to play, and how you found us in the world. Yes, there we go. But how did we turn out? I went 6-5, made day 2. That was far exceeding my goals of getting a single match win. Overall, we put 3 copies of the deck into day 2, which I'm very pleased with for the amount of preparation. And
You know, I do want to share with you guys the rousing speech that TJ gave us before we started play. On
I don't even
Saturday.
remember this. Okay.
He kind of stood there and he was like, "All right, guys, goals for the day. Don't drop till you've won a round."
Yay!
Boom. So inspiring.
We played Mono Red Burn. Have we decided what the best card is against Dredge? Rest in peace.
Rest in peace is definitely a great.
Yeah.
That's right. Leyline of the Void is also great.
Leyline of the Void is. Yeah. Yeah. Leyline is also not. Leyline is probably the best one. That's true.
Comes down right off the bat.
I think Leyline is
Doesn't get
frankly
hit by
better.
Abrupt Decay.
Yeah. But we did well. We played a Mono Red Burn deck that we put together, which was all kinds of fun. It had some interesting spicy things. It had Reality Smashers in the sideboard, which was just
Card
the coolest
was very
thing.
good.
Yeah. Oh, we were running Blighted Gorges with, which I got 4 kills with.
I got a couple kills with Blighted Gorge as well.
That felt really good
And
to have
then
your
we
opponent.
decided to cut.
That's okay, but there was nothing better than your opponent going, "Oh, so if you untap, I lose," and I was like, "Mm-hmm."
See this? You're going
All right,
mad.
I'll get you to 1 pass, and they're like, "Oh," and they like look at the mana base, and I'd have like the 6 lands, and then one of them's a Blighted Gorge. It's like, huh. So if I
Awkward.
don't gain any life, or if I don't kill you, I lose, and I'd be like, "Well, you can
2
pass
damage
and
is 2
see."
damage.
You can. Yeah, it's all. What? J-Dags! Welcome to the true path of the burn. Welcome. If you ever have any questions, let me know. Get in touch with me on Twitter at RedBaronMTG. Get in touch with me on Reddit, which is you, RedBaronMTG. Get in touch with me here on Twitch. My username is RedBaronMTG. You can send a whisper. It is all kinds of fun. So it's definitely a lot of fun. Whew.
Played Jund tonight, 1-2 matches against Burn. Way to go, Danielis.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
Crashdown Reg, it's great to see you, and just hello to all the Fortnites. We certainly missed you as a collective group.
Barbarian Rig is better than Blighted Gorge. You are correct.
You ain't wrong.
That's not standard legal.
American Heroes. I love it. This sounds kind of fun. So I'm guessing it's like a Jeskai heroic deck. Would be my assumption, but we do have someone who went with the Forefathers deck, which is Jeskai Spirits, American Spirits. Interesting, huh? So, let's go ahead and get rid of the damage that we had from last game. But
Yeah.
David with a sweet game win. Now, as we head into it, I still think that Infectus got a lot of tools against here, but it's going to basically involve just not really interacting with what David is trying to do.
Click save there.
Woo! Got it.
I don't know if they've realized that they're at 20.
Nah, they'll adjust it as it becomes relevant.
Okay.
Right now, both players at 20 heading into the game 1. Now, an Inkmoth Nexus from Bennett means that it's suggesting that there's not any other infected creatures in hand, unless potentially there is a Blighted Agent. But it does mean that you don't have any Glistering Elves or Blighted or Noble Hierarchs, in my mind.
David with the wonderful Insolent Neonate start.
Yeah, the absolute best start that you can have is this card into end of Bennett's post-combat main phase. Crack it into, hopefully,
Narcomoeba and
I mean, you crack it discarding our Golgari Grave Troll, and you see
Dredge
all
6,
4 of your
oh,
prized
he's got a
amalgams
troll.
and an Narcomoeba.
he's got a troll. He's got another Neonate in hand. His hand is great.
We
for
do have the
David.
Grave Troll.
Wow,
This is pretty
This is a
fantastic.
fantastic dredge hand for David.
So, we're going to go down to 17. We're going to take, looks to be...
3 poison off of what looks to be a mutagenic growth.
okay.
And now David going to sacrifice that, discard Grave Troll. We're going to dredge 6.
So this, I
There we
hope,
go.
is at the post-combat. Now, so we've got a bridge. We do have the Blood Guest. Now, we do have
Brutality.
Fetch Lands Enhanced. This is going to be big. But overall misses decently. Now, Collective Brutality, phenomenal card. Even in this matchup, it's huge.
Where are the Icarids?
Nice.
You're right.
Absolutely.
Where are they?
Jeskai Humans featuring
Oh,
Alicia
no.
Melon Traders.
No, David.
And draws into the prized amalgam.
draws the amalgam.
Ooh.
I'm surprised that he didn't dredge the Dakmar salvage. He has plenty of lands in hand. He has plenty of everything that he needs. I'm not sure why he didn't go for Dakmar Salvage there.
It's one of the least effective dredges that you have, and might have just been looking for some other options. But I think you're actually right. It's a reasonable situation to where you actually drop it down that way. Oh man, so
Because he could have made the same play that he did this turn, play the Dakmar Salvage tap, get back Bloodghast, and still cast the Neonate.
Dennis Commando, I'm not sure why you're using Inoffensive the Foremost in the Scapeshift Bring to Light, but let me know, unless it's as like the incidental. That's the one that's the Graveyard Hate, right?
Yeah, that's the Graveyard Hate. That seems okay.
Ooh, actually, are you talking about against Dredge?
It seems like it's a nice silver bullet, I guess.
Yeah. It could be an interesting one, though. I think if you're in that deck, especially from the Black Splash, you have the ability to get a Leyline of the Void.
Right, so
and that could
David
be
going
pretty
to discard the Grave Troll, and we're going to dredge 6 again. Let's see if David gets a little luckier. He does have a Bridge from Below trigger.
Multiple Narcomoebas. All we're looking for at this point is, and unfortunately still not getting those prized
He's going to get those
amalgams.
back. Don't know if he remembered his Bridge trigger.
You
Looks
know,
like he may
it
have
looks
missed
like he
that.
may have missed his bridge trigger from cracking this Insolent Neonate.
Yep.
K-Marky, you're absolutely right. David picking up this
he
deck.
did this during combat. Interesting. Now David's Bridge is gone.
Yep. And a Grafdigger's Cage from Bennett. Now, this isn't going to be huge, but it does mean that David is going to be trying to draw cards a little bit more. But you do run Ancient Grudges in the sideboard. You do have tools to fight
You run
this.
Ancient Grudge, you run Abrupt Decay. David can just next turn hardcast a Prized Amalgam, and a 3/3 is a big creature.
Yeah, and when you've got a 2/1 and some 1/1s on the board, that blue card is a Narcomoeba. It's now showing up, but when it is a 1/1 flying creature for 2, but when it's put into your graveyard from the library, you can just put it onto the battlefield. It is a triggered ability, and it really facilitates this deck. Just being a 1/1 flyer is fine.
Okay, looks like they're going to go back and give David his
But
zombie.
its biggest benefit is really triggering these prized amalgams. All right. So, what have we?
Well, he did get the zombie now, but I don't know what that's from. Raid?
Hey, where are we getting raided from? Either way.
No.
Oh wait, that's Tez Mizzet. This has got to be Todd. I'm gonna say that this is Todd.
Very possible.
If we're getting raided by Tez, hello to all the people who are joining us in the stream potentially now. My name's TJ.
I'm Bryce.
There's Todd.
Hi,
Todd.
Todd.
It's great to see you. I can't wait to stream with you again soon. Hopefully, you do get your partnership. We didn't get ours, but thanks for the incoming viewers, and I hope you had a good stream. I hope that league went well for you. So you're joining us here in the middle of a match of Dredge versus Infect in a round 2 at the moment.
David going to attack for a whopping 5 damage.
You know, this Grafdigger's Cage, while it's relevant, David is fighting through it. He's in a position to fight through it relatively well.
Oh no, David's Steam Fence is in his graveyard. Does he have another blue source that he can fetch to cast Prized Amalgam?
It's possible, and actually, this is the exact situation in which Alfred is Love. Hello, I hope you're having fun in Chicago. But this is the exact situation why you've seen so many interesting. Todd, that is interesting. I'll have to step up my game with your chat, but I don't know. I've always felt like you respond to people pretty well in your chat, so I can tell you they told us to keep building our community, so. That apparently that's what we're going to keep trying to do, and if you haven't yet, be sure to hit that follow button. It helps us out a lot. We're going to try and have a good couple of weeks and reapply.
And see if that gets him.
But nonetheless,
He does have a loam if he wants it. He'll be able to get lands back and just start hard casting Grave Trolls.
I was talking about something.
You were.
I couldn't tell you what it was. Either way, he's fighting through this Grafdigger's Cage fairly well. He also has this ability to continue dredging more than anything else. It's not shutting down his ability to keep going that path. And eventually he does have some tools to take down his graveyard. Oh, that's it. He's actually... There's a reason why a lot of people aren't running the Fetch Shock mana base in the dredge kind of community, is that they keep finding that when you are running a deck that puts so many cards into the graveyard, you can lose your fetch targets. And so I've seen a huge amount of push for just the Rainbow Lands, the City of Brass, the Mana Confluence, the ways to really produce any color that you need.
I believe Ross actually wrote an article, Ross Merriam, when he wrote an article about it. I think it went up yesterday. His mana base that he suggested is actually like 4 Copperline Gorge, 4 Blackleaf Cliffs. And then
that was another one that was fairly
stuff,
popular. Their base requirements are 500 viewers each stream on average, but there's a huge amount of flux within it. So I think it's just something that we didn't get at this time, and possibly it was some bad timing to apply for it on the weekend in which we were gone.
Dredge takes it down in 2.
Yeah, and pretty much this is kind of let's take this as a lesson, because one thing that you find against these decks like Affinity, like Dredge, like basically any deck in which you think there are these really powerful silver bullets that just eliminate the deck's ability to compete. Let's say against Tron as well. So one thing to always keep in mind is that behind every piece of good hate there needs to be pressure. And there's something that what I like to call is a good Blood Moon, and a good Grafdigger's Cage, and a good Stony Silence, right? And it means that when you need to drop it down, you need to have a good one. A bad one is when you have no pressure to follow it up, which means that, sure, you stopped your opponent, but
what are you doing?
But what are you doing? That's exactly it. And if you're not applying that pressure that forces them to come up with an answer to your answer, or to present another threat, well, then they're just going to keep working with what they had, or they're going to find a way to get out from beneath it. And so Bennett possibly relying on that Grafdigger's Cage just a little bit too much, and David, with the 5 power that he established, just able to continue going that path, take it down. So let's head back up to the booth. We'll get another match for you here in round 2. Hello and thank you for joining. My name is TJ Bryce, my fabulous co-host in the booth today, and I am your primary host of the Geek Fortress stream out of Snohomish, Washington, where just today, and I'm going to start typing this in the chat right now, be sure to check it out, because if you have any needs, anything like that, I've been trying to hype it up, but let me tell you what, basically through our pressure and through the inevitability of it, I have convinced Dylan, and basically Dylan convinced himself, we now have an online store. And while I'm not associated with it, this is one of the few ways that we have to really produce a tangible benefit to this stream to the store owner, because currently we don't make any money from doing it. We basically take up a computer, a lot of space in the back, and try and promote it as much as we possibly can. And if you want to take a moment, check out that site. He did basically put it up. It is now up and running. Any kind of feedback can be given to the store owner. But if you have any need for cards, want to browse the site, buy some stuff, just support the store in any kind of way, definitely feel free to do it. I guess in the time being, if you have any requests for the things that you buy, toss them into, I believe there's a comment section. But any way that you can support us, while we did not get the Twitch partnership, and that money, that money directly goes to supporting the store, which supports us. And I think that's important. It's important to us to really show our benefit to that store. But while we may not have gotten a Twitch partnership, we're going to reapply in a couple weeks. We're going to try and get a Patreon. And in the meantime, if you want to support, check out that store. And if there's anything that you're looking for, see if maybe we can help provide.
It's an interesting point, Black Iron Barkus.
Okay. Huh. That is a very interesting point. Oh, man. Support the fort. That's a decent hat. I put it just up above. I really should have copied it so that I could just keep pasting it. No shirts.
Not yet.
But I'm going to talk to him about potentially getting that up and running. I'd like to have shirts eventually running in there. So maybe one day we'll have shirts, but in the meantime, you can check out that website. It should take you there. And you can check it out. And eventually down the line, we'd like to have some merchandise, anything like that down there.
Yep.
Do you have a match for me?
Not yet. There's one match still going. Coleman is playing someone, and that person did not want to be on stream.
That's fair.
They were going into a game, but can't really grab them when he doesn't want to be. There is one other match that is going. It is Luke versus Ryan. David's going to grab them if they go to another game. So.
It's lucky. I'll be honest with you. It basically got up and running fully today, to the point to where it was functional. So I haven't had much time because I was at work, and then I just jumped in the booth, and he was like, by the way, it's up and running. I was like,
Tebet,
I'll
no,
talk
there
about
is
that.
not a command for the website. If you would like to make one, feel free.
But I'm sure that if you either toss in there or toss a request to Dylan, I'm sure that there's a contact us button. Send a message to Dylan. Say what you're looking to do, and I'm sure he will come up with some kind of way to make it happen.
Absolutely.
So toss it in there. Feel free to contact.
Get her too. She wants to boost rocks. Get her too.
That's the gift that keeps on giving the whole
That's true.
year
Just
round.
keeps draft. What's not to love?
And how is it going to everybody in the chat? I hope that you're all well. I had a fabulous weekend, which was actually quite relaxing. As much as I love it, my daily life can tend to get a little bit stressful.
Yeah.
And so having an opportunity to just get out and about and walk around, eat some good food,
Spend a lot of time sitting in a train station.
Find a haberdashery.
Finding a haberdashery, that happened.
You want to do some Fortnite artwork?
Hey.
You know what? Get in touch with me on Twitter. Get in touch with me on Twitch. Get in touch with me in Reddit. Basically, whatever you like, and I'd be happy to talk with you and see what we can. Todd with the jokes.
How was the GP? Enjoy Portland? Yeah, Portland was a lot of fun.
It was hot.
It was very warm.
I had a burger. I had a shake. I had some delicious food.
Pizza was good.
The pizza was fantastic. We got to do a meetup, and I got to meet some Fortnites. It was awesome.
That was a lot of fun.
Oh, I got to meet some people. I got to play some games. I got to lose to some people, win to some people. I didn't dance too much.
Thank
at that
you to
particular
any
occasion.
of you guys who are in the chat right now who came to that. We
Yeah.
appreciate you showing up and hanging out. A lot of fun.
It was so much fun. We're totally going to do it in Dallas.
I think we're thinking about something for PAX.
Are we?
Maybe.
Are we doing jazz hands? Everybody get those hype jazz hands going, because we're totally going to do something for PAX. I'm saying it now, I'm saying it then, and now we're going to say it again. We're going to do something for PAX. Wow, that worked out way better than expected. Right? Yeah, that was awesome. So, oh my goodness. Bryce is on Dredge. No, you're not on Dredge. I don't think so. Bryce, we need to have a talk. Are you on Dredge?
No, man. No, man. I'm just holding it for a friend.
You're not my mother. Oh my goodness. Oh, you did get her to wear the sundress? That's funny. I believe you told her, like, I'm going to tell her to wear a sundress or something like that. But I hope that she did well to the first draft. I remember you telling us that that was happening last Friday. Let me know how that experience was for you. I hope that you both had a good time. But should be getting a new match for you soon, potentially a game 3, if not a next round. But in the meantime, stick with us. If you do have any questions, toss them in the chat. In the meantime, we'll tell you a little bit about what we played. And sure, it's a different format, but it was the GP. We played a sweet standard deck, which we called Mono Red Burn. Now, is that particularly relevant? No.
No.
Also, Todd, just so you know, that transform
I'm
table...
playing Dredge apparently up there.
Oh, whoops. That transform table command is for you, Todd. So I hope you like it. Oh my goodness. 1 draw and 2 losses. Hey, that's fantastic.
You gotta win. That's the important.
Yeah. The first draft was EMA. You drafted it twice and pulled a foil sneak attack. That's not bad. That is not a bad way to go about it.
Foil sneak attack.
So, check that out. In the meantime, we're going to keep pushing forward. We are going to try and have Coleman do a write-up on the deck that we played. It was Mono Red Burn running a Thermo Alchemist. That deck was sweet.
Yep.
It was running the Dragon. We ended up making some changes afterwards. We'll talk a little bit about that. And the coolest thing was that there was Reality Smashes in the sideboard. There was also 3 copies of Malevolent Whispers in the sideboard.
That underperformed.
They overperformed in testing it and underperformed
they
in
were like,
tournaments.
oh, these aren't that good.
Yeah, so overall it was a lot of fun. Nonetheless, what it really did was reaffirm to me that while I'm doing this stream, it is at least keeping me within the realm of competing and like playing and being involved with the games, because I certainly overperformed with what I was expecting to do. And overall, I think that we did. Did we see Jerry Thompson's
Mirror
Bedlam
Overlord.
Overlord?
I did actually get to check that
didn't
out. It looks interesting. I mean, I haven't played it, so I can't speak to how it actually plays, but it looks cool.
Yes. Mostly, I usually like Jerry's lists. He puts together some pretty sweet lists. I like Reveler conceptually as a card. You live, you learn.
He said she passed the wasteland because it was stuck to another card.
That is rough. But I will tell you what, if you ever find yourself in a draft with me, sit to my left.
TJ will just take the red cards, and you just know that you don't play red.
I'm known for certainly not drafting for money. I have passed a fair few expensive cards. So there have been lots of cases in which I've passed like Spell Skites and Primeval Titans and basically to take the Goblin Fireslinger. Like, I know what I want to draft. Let's get it out of here.
Goblin Fireslinger.
To put into perspective, while I certainly, now let's just get one thing out of the way. I'm not going to question it at all, and I almost completely agree with it. But I would have taken the Burst Lightning. That's kind of that's where I put myself there.
We don't need to talk about Goyfgate.
I think that it's fine. You pick the card out of the pack that you have a right to take whatever card you want. Personally, I don't care.
Of course.
That's kind of where it came down.
Red card.
Do I agree with it? Meh. Do I disagree with it? Meh. He picked a card out of a pack. He drafted. Whatever. So, that's kind of where I settled on it. Ooh, man. As we get ready, it's time to tell you all about our wonderful schedule. Man, always got to have a capacity for fulfilling this space. But if you haven't yet, there is a follow button now. If you're on mobile, it's somewhere up here. Just tap your screen lightly, and it'll be on there, and it'll be a heart, and nothing but hearts, because we're going to make them right here. Compare them. Ooh, whose is better? I think yours might be. Oh, mine's getting... I'm overcorrecting. I'm overcorrecting my heart. But nonetheless, hit that follow button, because it means the world for us. It'll pop up here. There'll be lightning. There'll be thunder. There'll be rock, star, mania happening, and it's going to be a sweet time for all. And it means that you can join us here. Now, there's also a follow button down there if you're on the clickety-clack PC with the keyboard, with all the kind of things that you don't have to touch the screen. So hit that, have some fun, and join us in the future every Monday at 6:30 Pacific time. You can join us for Standard, which is always a sweet time, and I've gained a very new appreciation for with this last GP. You can also join us every Wednesday and Saturday. Now today is a Wednesday, which means that you got at least 50% of that right. Junior himself. Thank you so much for hitting that follow button. We're going to give you some Rockstar Harmony for your Rockstar self. Let us know where you're watching from, how you found us, and what you like to play in Magic. You can also join us Wednesday and Saturday. Wednesdays at 7 and Saturdays at 6 for that sweet, sweet Modern that everybody loves.
You're watching it right now.
Absolutely you are. And every single Friday, see, I didn't call it Legacy this time. You can join us every Friday at 7:30 for that Legacy.
Oh, there we go.
Boom! Now, let's tune up the hype for just a little bit because it is time. You've asked, we've answered, and it is time to put some Pauper on stream. Many of you have requested, hey, can we get some of that sweet Pauper on stream? We were thinking, man, for a format based around all commons, it's not too common on the Twitch streams. Well, it is time to supplement your needs and get them up here. So Sunday, this coming Sunday, at noon Pacific time.
Sunday.
It's going to be a rock and roll marathon where we get those poppers, those decks, where they are common but not so common, in which they are able to continue the sweet things. They rise up like the French Revolution. They said, let them eat cake, and they decided, no, we want first place in the popper tournament. Join us there. It's going to be a sweet time where I will be commentating. I'll be quite honest with you. I don't know who my co-host is going to be. There have been thoughts about grabbing one of the regular co-hosts. There have been a little bit of thoughts about grabbing potentially Josh, actually, who is a quite adept popper commentator, so I was going to try and reach out to him to see if he's available, but nonetheless, it's going to be sweet. So if you like popper, we've got popper, and it's going to be a sweet time for some proper paper popper. Now, if you're wondering, it is going to be the online ban list with the application of Sinkhole, Hymn to Turok, Goblin, Grenade, and High Tide in addition to it. Fairly focus on that one. We'll be focused and tuned in heavily that day for sure. I will also be heavily focused and tuned in, watching on the video scope as you watch us on the video scope and watching that sweet, sweet thing. So, I'm going to run Boros, Imperial Guard, Recruit, the Guard, and Legacy after...
I don't think so.
Nah, I'm going to run Burn. You're a little bit sad that I'm not wearing a hat. Hey, if I did it every time, it wouldn't be special.
That's true.
That's 100% true. And you know why it's true? Because you read it on the internet. Sorry, saw it on the internet. Heard it on the internet. I don't know. It's the internet. Internet never lies.
I feel like that's incorrect. It's just slightly, though.
How perfectly fitting, then. You shouldn't trust what you hear online, especially the people who tell you you should. So,
That's true.
it's gonna be sweet. I don't know how, man. I love it. I love
Junior
this.
himself from Denton, Texas. Favorite format: Modern deck, Suicide Zoo.
What a sweet deck.
It's a sweet one.
Absolutely a lot of fun. Sad day we have no Cavern of Souls in stock. I'll tell you what, I'll go talk to Dylan myself. Tell him, hey, we need some Cavern of Souls. And you know why we need Cavern of Souls? Because Chikuza needs them. That's just the way that it goes. And I need you to make it happen, Dylan, and we'll see what we can do.
Sorry, Sarah Fear, the cake is a lie.
Is it true that if you send TJ a hat, I'll have to wear it on stream at least once?
Sure. That is true as of right now.
If it is family friendly. If it is
That's true.
If it is
Has to be a
family friendly
family-friendly hat.
you got it.
He'll do it.
Let's do it. Let's open those floodgates.
We are going to channel our inner loading ready run and have people send us hats for you to wear.
Yes. New. You know what? I'll accept that. Shame is certainly something. That's not even shame. What is it? Embarrassment is not one of my more familiar emotions. So, New World hat order.
Too much mountain in the background.
Sorry, I've got to
This
get a
mountain
little
is
bit back
beautiful.
to.
Specifically that one right there.
I've got to get back to Sweet Cards. That we gave them control for Saturday, and you know what they
Put
did?
Siege
They
Rhino
put
behind
Siege
them.
Rhino.
Why?
Well, actually, you know what? We can at least appreciate one thing. At least there wasn't the second Siege Rhino background.
That's true.
Valkyries. I'll see if I can adjust that a little bit for you. Let me see what I can do. I'm gonna try tweaking this ever so slightly and see if I can fix that for you. So let us know.
Yeah, the
Hopefully it fixed itself. So let us know. I tried just turning down that mic a little bit to potentially turn down some of that engine sound, and let us know. So
You're a fan of the Rhino, to be honest, Tevin. I don't think we can be friends anymore.
oh man, did I?
Is it?
Have I killed the
No,
sound?
I think David's.
Oh, David.
Don't say those things, David. We take your word for things.
Seriously, you're the guy. He's not the guy. I'm the guy. Who gets that reference? Toss it into the chat. Do I go bold here?
I don't know. Do you go bold?
First one to say what that reference is from will get you a playmat from Portland.
From Portland. Ooh, okay.
Done. Okay. He's not the guy. I'm the guy. First person to tell me what movie that's from, you get a playmat from Portland, and we'll have the five of us who played the burn deck sign it. That's not optional.
Sweet.
It's optional. You can say no. Oh man.
In fact, I think it's right here.
Oh, is it right here?
I have it.
Very
It's
cool.
right here.
Oh man, look at that! It's pretty sweet. It's got Soren on it. Ooh, let's not. We're still missing it. I'll be curious. Oh, Gibboism, you get a playmat. What?
Spy Kids 3D.
Gibboism, send me a message at Red Baron MTG. You just won yourself a brand new playmat. Spy Kids 3D, the guy from the cover.
I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, love it. Gibboism, what a great job there. Sorry, I wasn't quite prepared for that. That was kind of off the cuff.
Hey, it works.
So hopefully that was kind of, I don't know. Should we do that more in the future?
Sure. Let's just do random giveaways. I might have another playmat. Who knows?
Oh man, that was fun.
Coleman's playing Warp World and he's going to time.
Man,
It's 3 minutes.
Coleman's playing
4
Warp
minutes
World?
left. Yeah, he's playing Warp World.
that's so. Actually, he got.
That's why I wanted to get him on this one.
Okay, we'll have to get him on next round, but unfortunately,
If-
it is getting
if
a
he's
little bit
able
of a
to stay.
delay. So we're gonna try and get him on for round 3 if
Well,
we
I think
can.
he probably works.
Well, yeah, but he only shows up in there. Nonetheless, congratulations, Gibboism, for that. I'm kind of loving it. Good job. I was kind of curious to see how many people would know that one. But honestly,
It's an obscure reference.
it is.
Sure.
But it's a joke that Logan makes all the time.
Does he?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, if he's ever just like, are you that guy? Or just, if there's ever anything, he'll go, he's not the guy. I'm the guy.
Weston wants to link a hat from Amazon to make you regret your decision, TJ.
As long as it's family friendly, I will allow it.
How was Pizza Schmitza? It was great. Schmitza Pub and Grub on Broadway is fantastic. If you're in Portland, try it out.
Alright, so...
Plus, they were really accommodating when we called them day off.
Yeah. I wonder why we did have to call them the day off.
I mean, other people didn't call, that's why.
Yeah. Other people didn't call. Alright, so... Let's take a quick look at this.
TJ would love that. What are you talking about?
Can I think I have it set up to show the card here. Nope, hold on. What can we do here? Can I show it? Yes! Yep, I'm gonna do it.
Oh, man.
I will proudly don that. Wrong button.
You saw nothing. 6 words, how much pizza did you eat in Portland?
Not as much as you
Not
think.
that much,
Yeah.
but enough.
That's... That hat is, as they said, squarely in my wheelhouse. Had a fantastic time at Pizza Schmitza. The pizza was surprisingly delicious.
It was very good.
What we expected to have about 8 people to 10 people ended up having 27.
27, including the 4 of us. So 23 other people.
Yeah. Which, how cool is that?
It was a lot of fun.
So, it was so much fun. Thank you to everybody who did show up. Thank you to everybody who's currently sticking around. If you haven't yet, always feel free to hit that follow button. As always, I can't believe that we're past 3,000
Next round
followers,
is posted.
and the next round is up. Weston, go ahead and send it to the store, and if you have a moment, let Dylan know. But yeah, sending it to the store is probably the
Let
most
Dylan know what.
that he might get a. See if getting a hat in the mail is convenient for him. We're finding out if that is the most convenient way to go about it. So, we do have round 3 coming up. We seem to be going through it fairly quickly at this point, so we might try and get some kind of, exhibition or feature matches at the end if we can. If not, we'll stick around a little bit, talk a bit. What is my hat size? I've never been asked that question before. Oh my goodness. Can anybody help? What is my approximate hat size? Hold on. I'll try and get you things to reference it to. This is my hat in reference to a generic brand soda. Ooh, I know. If you go ahead and grab, water bottles from your house, my head is about, let's say, hold on. Let's say 3 water bottles wide. I don't know. I was really not prepared for that, that hat question. My shoe size is like 11 and a half, 12, depending on the brand. So I couldn't tell you, but I've never actually measured my hat size before. I usually go for the one size fits all and just try. Hopefully that's a reasonable way.
Right. This one should be fun.
I don't know what my hat size is, so I measured it by water bottle.
Beautiful.
It's 3 water bottles wide.
Wow. Okay, so facing the wall
Facing the wall.
is Josh.
Whoa. Josh. Okay. And he seems to be going up against Martin by
He
the
is up
look of
against
it.
Martin.
Now tell me a little bit about what I can expect these people to be doing on the battlefield with pieces of cardboard that in fact indicate a greater meaning than just the piece of cardboard.
Josh is on Jeskai Ascendancy.
Oh my goodness. What's he going up against?
Martin.
Don't you tell me Lantern.
It's on
Don't.
Affinity.
Oh my goodness. Ugly, thank you so much. I came from work, and I assumed that Bryce took Eric's lead and decided to match
No,
the
I
poster.
actually came from work.
Delightful. We're a couple of working folk here. Facial expressions, apparently. I'm not sure what I'm doing there.
You can definitely ship it here.
Did Dylan say
Dylan
so?
said he said it's more inconvenient for you guys to send it than it is for him to take it out of the mailbox. So
Let's
you
head on
go.
down for round 3. Send it to the shop. It apparently works for us. Oh, man. Okay, let's head on down. It's round 3. Affinity versus Jeskai Ascendancy. I'm really hoping Affinity takes it, because then we don't actually have to narrate Jeskai Ascendancy. We'll see you down there.
You saying
All
you
right.
don't like narrating? You don't like commentating for Jeskai Ascendancy?
Actually, it reminds me so much of basically Treasure Cruise era. This is a relic of Treasure Cruise era, a time in which that was probably one of the more powerful decks that just was available to you.
Absolutely, Ascendancy was great.
And yeah, the deck was absolutely powerful.
See, Todd likes Ascendancy.
Todd is awesome. I can tell you that. Todd, I need to get in
What
touch
else
with you.
can we send to the shop?
I'm gonna go with
Hats.
hats for now. I suppose if there's, yeah, I guess I don't want to
Hats.
flood his inbox too much. I will say
Send
that,
hats.
you know what? If you buy anything from the store, which you can find at, hold on, let me paste it into the chat. Which hopefully by the time that I'm finished saying this, if you want to order anything from the shop in the comments section, if you ask. Any one of us as the co-hosts would be more than happy to sign something
So
for
buy
you.
your Splinter Twins.
I believe the address should be on the very same website that I just posted for you.
Martin to 18.
So you can just find it there, Geek Fortress in Snohomish, Washington. So
Dee-dee-doo.
we do see a Vault Scourge coming down for Martin off of a Vault Scourge. We do have an Ornithopter in hand. We have a Spellskite, which is not actually going to be as relevant as you'd think in this kind of situation.
Attacker 1,
But
19 open.
the Birds of Paradise are a really phenomenal starting point for this Jeskai Ascendancy deck.
This is the one with green shade of Hades, as you can see, with Birds of Paradise.
So with Serum Visions, we're looking at a Thoughtscar and a land. We put them both on the bottom. We do have another land, but we don't quite have our Jeskai Ascendancy. That's why we're looking at a situation in which Josh is putting both on the bottom. We're now going to Sleight of Hand, take a look, see what we can find. Looks like we grab a blue card, not able to see quite what it was. Visions of Beyond in hand, however, and
Visions
I think
Beyond a couple of Cerulean Wisps.
I think it was a Cerulean Wisp that we saw off of the Sleight of Hand as well. Now, Josh, a Storm player in other formats. So I think one thing that we can expect to see out of Josh is a pretty reasonable pace of play for this.
Yeah, he's going to do it quickly. Yeah, I think he's got 3 Cerulean Wisps and a Visions of Beyond as his hand. Wow.
You are absolutely correct on that 3 Cerulean Wisps. Now, this card particularly unique, and I once saw it used in almost a particularly brilliant way, but otherwise, a pretty interesting card. Target creature becomes blue until end of turn. Untap that creature, draw a card. Now, a cantrip that, when you have a Jeskai Ascendancy, ends up basically cantripping and costing you nothing.
Yep,
So-
gives you free mana.
Mm-hmm. And so once you start looking at Cerulean Wisps in a deck with Birds of Paradise or with that Sylvan Caryatid, you're looking at a deck that basically gets to have another Gitaxian Probe with, some
Sort
caveats
of.
with it. Alright. So, you haven't been here for a while, Life is Bowling, been hey, that's okay. It's good to see you
good to see
again,
you,
as
Life
always.
is
We spent the
Bowling.
weekend in Portland, so we weren't streaming much last weekend either. But, thank you to everybody who is joining. I hope you all had a great weekend, and I look forward to interacting with you more in the future.
So Josh hit a Glittering Wish, which is going to be able to get him his Ascendancy.
Mm-hmm. So, we do have a land. We do now have an Ascendancy in hand, and if Martin does not have an answer particularly soon, a way to really apply this pressure, because right now his pressure is really being generated.
Okay, there's a Cranial Plate.
Never mind, a cranial plating is not bad.
That's a way to generate pressure, right?
It is a way to generate pressure. You are absolutely correct.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A juicy
5,
red
6,
apple is
7,
nice,
8.
but not every
So this is
apple
an attack
red.
for 9. 5, 6, 7, 8.
2, 3, 4,
9.
5, 6, 7, 8.
He's looking at activating Moth Nexus.
If you activate it, it is 9.
Looks like he didn't. It was just 8.
So possibly keeping up the potential. He does have 2 mana
Mana fetch
available.
down to 6.
So we're looking at.
Can Josh go off next turn? That's the question. I think he can if he hits a land.
Actually, with all those Cerulean Wisps, he's in a fine position. Actually,
Oh, never mind. Yeah, no, he just gets to cast Ascendancy, Cerulean Wisps, and he's off.
yeah.
The Spell Sky's gonna gum that up a bit.
You are correct.
But
That is gonna
Martin
slow him down somewhat.
being fairly smart about this, keeping a flyer untapped to be able to block Bird's Paradise.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, the 26. Like, if you are dead, you're going to be dead no matter what. But Josh looks to be
blue, red.
activating that one. We
Where's
are going to see
Jeskai
him.
Ascendancy?
And the Cerulean Wisp, as nice as it is, it means that you're actually going to be dealing 6 damage to Martin if you want to do that,
Cerulean
and you're
Wisp
still getting the
target
untap and the draw card. So We're going to activate that. Sure, we're going to target it, but we still get an untap. We still get a Jeskai Sensei trigger. We still get a card draw. Now, while we're not producing a mana, it does mean that we're still in a fine position. Okay.
Manamorphose was the draw for Josh here. So, all right. So we are about to get into where Josh is going to be going off. For those of you who don't know how the combo works, basically what's going to happen, Josh is going to cast a lot of cantrips, making mana every time with his Birds of Paradise, so that he can because he can untap it with Jeskai Ascendancy. Jeskai Ascendancy is also then going to pump his Birds of Paradise until the point it becomes a lethal threat, and he's going to try to attack through finding some way to get rid of both this Ornithopter and the Spellskite in order to get through them and get the win here.
Todd, why don't you like Affinity? Affinity's sweet. It's one of my favorite
Fate
decks.
Stitcher.
So this is the Fate Stitcher version.
He is playing Fate Stitcher as well, it would seem.
Interesting.
Yeah, so basically what Josh is going to be going for here is tapping down the Spellskite, because he'll be able to tap down one of them. And then he'll have two threats that can attack in Fate Stitcher and Birds of Paradise. So here's Fate Stitcher being unearthed.
Todd, I suppose that's somewhat fair. I think that the deck is a lot of fun. There have been like these micro movements within the development of the deck, but
Martin
hasn't changed a whole lot. I personally think it's a lot of fun to watch, though.
The target from Fate Stitcher untapping to the Spellskite.
And I'll be curious to see how much
Manamorphose.
life. Todd, if they print new cards for Affinity, actually, it's interesting because we're going back to Kaladesh. On the one hand, I'm kind of hoping not to see any more permanents from Kaladesh.
Okay, Josh just drew a Path to Exile.
That's pretty big.
That's
actually.
exactly what he wants.
That's
I'm
big
going to
game.
target this. You're going to do that. I'm going to tap my Birds of Paradise, cast Path to Exile, take out your Spellskite. No, he's going to go for Gitaxian Probe right now.
Okay.
So untap. Draws a card.
Possibly to use this Fate Stitcher to get the white mana
Looting.
from this Hallowed Fountain.
He should draw another card. There we go.
Huh.
So he's
Interesting.
got two Glittering Wishes in his hand.
Nonetheless, Martin basically gets to keep paying mana. And the interesting thing is that kind of Josh's...
As long as Josh keeps drawing into cantrips, he's going to be able to just kill Martin by
forcing him to
activate the Spellskite.
And then eventually he
Okay,
can...
scry a couple, put both those on the bottom.
Yeah. I like the create templating. I don't think that it
Target
actually...
down to 18.
I quite like the new create templating.
I'm a fan of create.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
But Kaladesh might produce some new spells for Affinity. Interestingly enough, as an Affinity player, I'm not hoping for too much. Because that deck, it's a couple pieces away from...
Okay, he hit a Thought Scour.
From getting hit by the hammer. Thought Scour is not bad.
Put both those Fate Stitchers on top. Put them both on top.
That way you can...
Or one top, one bottom, I guess.
That's probably fine.
I think I like leaving them both on top, yeah. So that because you Thought Scour, target yourself, you draw one of the Fate Stitchers, and then you mill the other one. Okay, so Spellskite continuing its job of costing Martin 2 life to deny Josh a mana.
Hey David, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you're having a good, I suppose, evening.
Nice to see you.
Alright,
Draw a card. Ooh.
Glittering Wish and a Path to Exile, and a couple of lands currently the available cards. That Path to Exile still fairly big game, and this Glittering Wish
Down to
able to go
14.
for some other pretty interesting options. But at this point, you're able to use this Fate Stitcher, and
So Path to Exile is going to be able to take out the Spellskite, and then Josh is going to have access to 2 mana.
all you need to do is actually tap down this Ornithopter.
Tap down the Ornithopter and attack for the win.
Okay.
6, 7, 8, 9.
So yeah, that should be fairly interesting. It's almost 12 a.m. there. David, all of you East Coast people, thank you so much for joining us even late into the evening. It's great having you. Or I suppose Central. No, that's East Coast, if it's 3 hours ahead.
We're going to tap for green, and we are going to get a Glittering Wish. That should untap both of these guys.
Flesh Blood?
Flesh Blood would be fine. He's going to loot real quick.
We see the other Jeskai Sensei, actually. Huge amount of mana being produced right now.
Glittering Wish going to go get
Barbados!
something.
That's awesome. Thanks for watching from Barbados.
East Coast, Beast Coast? West Coast, Best Coast. That's the one that actually works. So, going to go hit Scarscale Ritual. So that puts a -1/-1 counter on a creature you control for 1 and blue-black hybrid, and then draws 2 cards. So that's going to be fantastic for Josh here. He's going to be able to put 2 -1/-1 counters on... Well, he's going to be able to put -1/-1 counter on one of his guys, and then draw 1, loot, and then draw 2 more.
Very, very nice.
So this is going very, very well for Josh right now. Discard that, loot a couple times, draw a couple cards.
Ooh, a
Hitting
Gitaxian
probe.
I think 2 probes.
I think it was 2 probes, yeah.
At this
so-
point, do you just hope, as Martin, he knows, his hand is known, it's 2 Steel Overseers. So you
Face
know...
since you're going to tap the Ornithopter, we're going to cast the Gitaxian Probe, take a look at your hand, and we're going to attack you for lethal. There you saw Jeskai Ascendancy
Do its
knock this
thing.
one out.
Wow.
When it's playing against a deck that doesn't have a ton of interaction for it, this is exactly what the Ascendancy deck does.
Yeah. David Byer. David, actually, I'm not sure if we're going to Louisville for the Legacy one. I think we're still ironing out kind
Louisville
of
in
what...
January, I don't believe that was on our list. I think the first one next year is Vancouver.
I am, I'm...
And
oh,
that's, I believe, in February.
and apparently I might be running things while David decides to go there.
Dylan.
Sorry, Dylan. Apparently Dylan. But,
It's fair.
I will say that I'm open to it, but I'm not convinced by it. But I'm open to going to it. I think right now we're planning on Vancouver as kind of the first one, but we'll see. I'm still kind of developing what my schedule is going to be in the coming year, and we'll see kind of what my budget looks like, especially once I move soon.
Oh yeah, you're planning on moving out soon.
Yeah.
Moving in with Texas, right?
No.
Oh, okay, I thought.
Nothing
you guys
against
were
him,
talking
but I
about
don't want to live with anybody that I actually know.
that. Sure.
I have no interest in living with anybody that I like. No.
That's fair. That's fair.
If I can live like with no roommates, that's what I'll be doing. It's just a matter of finding a place that is both conveniently located and affordable.
And you can do.
Yeah. But boom. Well, I have a suspect feeling that I know your Facebook name, but nonetheless, I'll be honest, I'm not on Facebook a ton. Get in touch with me on there nonetheless, but the easiest way to get in touch with me is probably either Reddit, Red Baron MTG, Twitch, Red Baron MTG, or Twitter, Red Baron MTG.
Weirdly, all of them are Red Baron and MTG.
Yeah. Do you think that true fitting a deck is worth it? Depends on how much it's worth. But in general, it's not going to hurt it.
Yep.
So I personally actually don't double sleeve my decks.
I've started not double sleeving. I used to for a while, and then I was like, so much effort.
Uh-huh. So we will Astrid Glitter Doodle. First of all, A+ name. A+ name. Second of all, I'm not sure if I want to open invite to the Twitch chat, but we'll see. All right. Okay. Hey Todd, have a great night. Can enjoy doing some teaching in the morning. Thank you so much for what you do streaming. I look forward to watching you a bit tomorrow.
Absolutely.
If you haven't yet, always feel free to check out Todd Stevens' stream. He's a lot of fun to watch. He's a pretty good one. He's also on the path to trying to get to that Twitch partnership level. And if we can try and cross some of the support over to each other, anything that helps, because we got denied and we were told to keep building our community, but at least we're on the right path. So to reapply in a couple of weeks. So hey, let's try and put up a good showing of Fortnites in the next couple of weeks. Let's try and show them what we can do. We'll see. It's a piece of paper. That's the script that I threw out. We were gonna talk. Oh man, that's from way back when.
It is from way back when.
This is old school.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's an old piece of paper.
This is an old piece of paper. My goodness.
Jeez.
Louise. Alright. Man, Scarscale Ritual, a pretty sweet card nonetheless.
Scarscale Ritual is a sweet card. It does exactly what you want it to do in the Jeskai Ascendancy deck, which is be a cheap way to draw 2 cards that you can tutor for with your Glittering Wish.
David Byer, what are you intending to plan in that tournament? Or are you keeping it a little bit on the down low? I can dig it. But, as always, I'll always feel free to ask any questions that you have. I'm more than happy to provide whatever assistance and knowledge that I have. Sad LK, it's great to see you. Big Daddy Baker, they did not give me any definitive number. They just said keep doing what you're doing and building the community and reapply later. So, we shall see. John, very, very
okay.
cool. We'll try and get Peter for you. Let's see here. Actually, sideboarding is a huge difficult part of the game.
Yep.
Sideboard and mulliganing, I think, are possibly some of the
They're two of the most
least-
skill testing parts of the game.
They are, and I also think that they're some of the least practiced.
Mm-hmm.
I find that two things happen. Is one, people don't really treat like in playtesting. I see a lot of people not actually actively sideboard. I see them do a lot of mainboard sideboarding, and I see a lot of people actually do playtesting to where they continue to go up to 7, and they don't learn how to mulligan and how their deck is actually affected by mulliganings. And I think it's two things that are hugely neglected. Is that people always practice kind of for the ideal situation, or often practice for this ideal situation, and I'm a big advocate for practicing for when things go wrong. So if you are going to mulligan, yeah, go down to 6, go down to 5, go down to 4, and then see what happens. Don't say, okay, well, I lose this game, let's go up to 7.
Yep.
See what happens. See what capabilities your deck has. See how far you can flex your sideboard before you overboard. And if you find yourself doing that, bring it back. So that's at least something that I would personally recommend from a playtesting.
Rathmar, whichever one you like to play more, both of them are well positioned against random aggro decks and brew decks.
Both will always be around in Modern. If you enjoy them, they will be around.
Yep.
They have been around since the beginning of the format. They are not going anywhere soon. Now Martin, with a Whipflare in hand, a Galvanic Blast, a Wear Tear.
He's got Wear Tear.
This is one of those situations in which Martin's hand is A, fantastic, but B,
doesn't interact with a Sylvan Caryatid.
and actually has 0 pressure.
Oh, Stony Silence?
So,
Going to float the white mana and then kill the Stony Silence. But that gets Wear Tear out of Martin's hand.
but if you take a look at what Martin's got going on, he's got a Ravager with just an Ornithopter out, and then he's got double Whipflare and a Galvanic Blast in hand. Martin has very little in the form of actual pressure, which means that, sure, Martin can answer a lot of what Josh is trying to do.
Josh is going to be able to go off in probably 2 turns.
But on the flip side, one thing that that Martin doesn't have, and this is kind of exactly what I was talking about last game. This is the exact situation in which you have a Whipflare, but maybe not a good Whipflare, one that forces your opponent to really struggle because of that sideboard piece. Now it's a setback as opposed to a win. That kind of situation. So hopefully Martin is able to draw into some piece that can really take advantage of the board that he has.
Stony Silence just says, he's not the guy, I'm the guy. Interesting that Josh decided to go get a Wear Tear with his Glittering Wish.
Alright. Man, I'm so excited by it. That was a fun way to do a giveaway. I might do that more in the future. Like, that was a really fun way to do
Way
it.
to do a giveaway. Just pull out a random quote and then have people figure it out. I'm actually going to look that up because I don't believe you can get Wear Tear with it.
Get what?
Get Wear Tear off of Glittering Wish.
Oh, because it's a multicolored card? Well, it looks like he is.
Is Wear Tear multicolored?
That's what I'm looking up right now.
I actually don't know.
I mean,
don't think it is.
I don't think it is either.
But I'm double checking because I think you have to
I
choose
think-
one of them.
I
and
think
they are
while
each
it is-
single color. Can
Huh.
Glittering Wish target split cards? Well, there we go.
I'm pretty sure you can get Wear
Let's
Tear.
find out.
Because while it's not on the stack, it's both cards. Like,
But is it a multicolored card?
I think you can.
Wear Tear is a
Like, it's
legal
been in
choice.
the- it's
hold
been
on,
in-
Wear Tear is a legal choice for Glittering Wish. You can see it under
been
the
in
ruling
tons
for
of the
Wear Tear.
decks.
Some split cards have
Yeah.
fused where, yep, card is definitely multicolored. Cool.
Yeah.
We're good.
That card has been in Jeskai Sensi for ever. Man, that's weird. Still weird. Still weird. But yeah, while it's not on the stack, it's actually both cards. So I think if you are going to consider like the converted mana cost of both cards while measuring
While
it.
not on the stack, such a card is multicolored.
Yep. All right.
Boom.
Very cool. Who plans to death? Was that me? Oh no, that was Gwydion Wolf. I remember that. Liberator. Just look at it. It's a card, and it's 2 colors. What was the giveaway? Oh, we gave away one of our Portland playmats because Gibboism knew my obscure reference.
This one.
So, I don't know. I kind of liked that because it does fall in line with our chat interaction.
Falls in line with exactly how we do things.
We're gonna keep doing scheduled ones that
Yeah, of
like
course,
everybody
of course.
can be a part of. But I think occasionally I might just decide that I want to give something away that given day and ask you all a question. It sounds fun to me.
I happen to have another playmat.
We'll see if we can get obscure enough. McPatches, it's good to see ya. Okay, so we do have the Sylvan Caryatid. Interestingly enough, not answerable.
Josh is at 1 poison because he got attacked by an Inkmoth.
And something to keep in mind. Now we are fully aware of Letson Martin's hand. Can you tell me how many of those Galvanic Blasts and those
He's got
Whip Flares?
1 Galvanic Blast, 2 Whip Flare.
But look at that Chalice for 1.
Void.
Interesting.
That seems pretty okay.
Taman.
Except it's gonna get hit by a Were.
Taman, it is great to see you. Talk about Leyline of the Void. Okay. So Leyline of the Void,
It's a
fantastic card. Not often played in Modern, and it does have this inherent weakness in which it often is at its best when it is in your opening hand. And when you're looking at a lot of decks, you can't always rely on one of those cards to be in your opening hand and otherwise useless. So it's best used in one of the black decks that, even if they don't get it in opening hand, can survive to the point of actually casting it. But it doesn't land down early enough to where, you know, if it's in the opening hand against Dredge, phenomenal. If it's not very good. So if you are going to run it, usually you're running 3 to 4
There's
of
a
them.
Whip Flare.
Do we have another colored source, however?
And I'm going to eat this.
We do have... We're going to double cast a Whip Flare? My goodness.
Whip Flare. Double Whip Flare!
He's got the Whip Flare!
No, I was channeling my Rich Hagen.
Oh, nice.
When Kibler double Whip Flared.
That seems reasonable. But, that is...
He didn't block and that was it!
Ooh, that was a good one.
Oh.
That was a good
That
one.
was a great moment.
Kothwins, it's good to see ya. Man. Yeah, so Leyline of the Void, if you are going to run it, you want to run it by, basically at least 3 to 4 of them. And you
I said
sometimes
Rich.
trap yourself into mulliganing down to actually having it, which can be dangerous. But that being said, it doesn't die to Abrupt Decay. It comes down so quickly that they can barely react, and it's definitely worth it. David, no. Once you tap... They are artifacts, they don't work, it doesn't specify.
No, Rod.
It destroys Affinity.
Pretty good.
It's decent. So, Josh, with
It's a
multiple
okay
lands,
card.
does lose the...
Accents again, really? Yes.
Not me, though. Not me this
What
time.
are you going to do about it?
Otherwise, we are taking a little bit of pressure. This Arcbound Ravager, basically a 4/4 at this point, and that's the only pressure that Martin has available to him. But it seems to be enough.
Well, sleight of hand from Josh. Sees a
And-
Glittering Wish. That should get him his Jeskai Ascendancy. He needs to find a creature
Mm-hmm.
so that he can start to go off. But
Potentially another Wear and Tear if he wants to as well. Okay, let's see. C.K. Latch. Harry actually did.
Yep, Harry went 10-5.
Harry had 10-5.
Got
Coleman,
himself that beloved
9-4.
pro point.
Slowly Crashing did not have the top finish. He had 9-4. I went 6-5.
Should have blocked his butt.
Oh, laughing at... Okay, I thought he was answering the question.
Does he have Stitcher in hand? That would be pretty good.
Yeah. So we do have
That
a...
would be decent. I mean, to be fair, when your combo opponent is going off,
He has a Cerulean Wisps in hand.
he does have Cerulean Wisp. He has the Wear Tear still.
Mm-hmm.
He has Jeskai Ascendancy now, so he's going to be able to next turn cast Jeskai Ascendancy, cast the Wear, or the... probably cast the Wear. Why did you say that... Tevin, why did you say that Terra is what takes out Chalice? That's not it. Wear is the artifact destroy.
Don't worry about it. I mean, they're the same, like, both has the different card. Probably just said the wrong one. That is...
But I said the right one. He was trying to correct me.
Eh, regardless. Okay, so... Josh down to 7 after this other hit for 4. I believe we are still looking at a hand that is not super effective at just pressuring the board and more just continue applying pressure. So Josh does have 2
Alright.
turns.
So Josh
God,
has cantrip. Josh has
He has another wear tear.
he doesn't have 2 more turns. Martin has the Galvanic Blast in hand.
That is true.
Josh
So
doesn't know that, but he can't use a ton of life to get this going.
mm-hmm. And he doesn't have many of the creatures. He doesn't have the Fate Stitcher to bring back out of the graveyard with haste. Huh. Mega Steinfeld, what was your jank? Because, like, ours was Reality Smash to the sideboard with a colorless splash off of Blighted Gorges, which was awesome. And Can't Lose Sanitarium.
Can't lose Sanitarium. We also played Painlands.
And Painlands in a mono-red deck.
In retrospect, we should have just played Shivan Reef, but most of us played
We
Battlefield
discussed it. We just happen to all have Battlefield Forge.
Forge. That's true. We all just were like, oh, like, I have 4 Battlefield Forge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has Fate Stitcher as well as 2 spells, so we should be good to go here. Fate Stitcher going to be... No. Okay, discard the Fate Stitcher.
I mean, the Fate Stitcher can be killed by the
Draw a
Galvanic Blast,
card.
however.
He didn't draw his card for Thought Scour, I don't think. But in response, I'm going to hit
And
that.
that is going
but
to give Martin a win.
Nope, Josh is going to go off at instant speed. Or attempt to.
Attempt to, yes. But I
He
don't...
needs to find another Fate Stitcher. That's what he needs to go for.
Mm-hmm.
That is literally all he is trying to do here. Okay, so in... Oh, no, it gets exiled.
Yep.
We
Okay.
fixed it. We're good.
Oh, man. I did not have to get a chance to watch the Olympics today.
No, that was this weekend.
What?
You didn't get to watch the Olympics today. That happened this weekend.
I did watch a lot of the Olympics this weekend. It was a lot of fun. So, a wear and tear in hand. You know what? If I'm Josh, if only you could actually just take down like the Mox and the Springleaf Drum, but unfortunately not going to be doable.
Yep. Well, the Galvanic Blast now not in Martin's hand,
He has the other one, doesn't he?
but Martin can just go all in on the Ravager now.
Right. Which means that he can do that and the Galvanic Blast and just combine the two.
No, Martin doesn't have a second Galvanic Blast. He used it on the Fate Stitcher. That's what stopped Josh from going off.
However,
Draws Gear per 8th grade. That seems fine.
that seems just fine to me. Really focusing on killing those Birds of Paradise. That's interesting. Why is it called Can't Lose Sanitarium? Basically because we
Because you can't
decided to. When you're playing it, just feels like you can't lose Sanitarium.
In response, we're going to Cerulean Wisp, make that guy blue, we're going to loot.
So, we got to discard a Fate Stitcher. That's what we're looking to do. Let's see what happens.
But yeah, it's called Can't Lose Sanitarium because when you have it in play and you activate it at least once, you can't lose the game.
Is that true? Yes.
Obviously.
And Martin taking a game 2 here, sacrificing the rest of the permanents to this Arcbound Ravager,
Affinity evening it up.
which does have the ability of sacrifice an artifact to put a +1/+1 counter on Arcbound Ravager, and that modular ability now not playing relevancy. Here, what does Fate Stitcher do in this deck? It acts as another
Mana
mana
creature.
dork because it has tap or untap target permanent. Now, you can target a land with that. So when you have Jeskai Ascendancy, which is untapping your creatures, you can then choose to untap your lands with it. Now, with it being hasty when it's coming out of your graveyard, it means that as you're going for these abilities, like Thought Scour, like the triggers off of Jeskai Ascendancy itself, like, are there any others that I'm significantly missing at the moment? I think those are the main ones. Nonetheless, once it goes to your graveyard, you're able to really activate it out of the graveyard and have this haste mana dork that is a little bit less vulnerable to some of that spot removal, and can really take it over and enable you to win the turn that you want to go. That's the intent, and it's also within the colors, which means that it somewhat reduces your green splash, but they tend to be fairly big on that one nonetheless. I don't think that they run Faithless Looting Big Daddy Snow. to my knowledge. At least they didn't used to.
They don't run Faithless Looting. No.
There we go. That's an answer. That's an answer, and I like it.
You've been worded.
We have certainly nailed it. Now, hello. I just realized we are currently over 200 people. Thank you, everybody. Mitchell, thank you so much for tossing in. I don't fully recognize you from the... No, I do. I recognize you from the chat. I just don't get to see you too often. But, hello. Thank you so much for joining. My name is TJ.
I'm Bryce.
We're streaming out of Geek Fortress in Snohomish, Washington. Having a good time, rocking and rolling, tipping and towing, and working our way through this fun modern format as we do each Wednesday and Saturday, which apparently I just started talking a bit weird there. We're going to jump back over to the regular Pacific Northwest accent. You can hit that follow button. Join us every Monday at 6:30 Pacific time for Substandard. Every Wednesday and Saturday you can join us for Modern. Wednesdays at 7, Saturdays at 6. Vicious One, thank you so much for the follow. And every Friday at 7:30 you can join us for Legacy. That's 4 times content each week. It's totally worth hitting that follow button. I will be here pretty much all the time.
Kareem 1551.
Thank you so much for hitting that follow button. You are a rock star. Thank you so much for joining the Fortnites to both of you. I hope you're having a good time. Let us know where you're watching from, what you like to play, and how you did come across us. Hello
And
to all.
also your favorite cookie.
Meh, sure. Yeah. Why not? Tom Solo, I know that you're asking about walkers because of French's stream, and I do hope to see that eventually. I haven't been able to convince, I think David's going to be my prime target there.
Tomcat with the follow.
Thank you so much for hitting that follow button, Tomcat. Astrid Glitterdoodle with the amazing name. Thank you so much for the compliment. We certainly appreciate you. And I look forward to interacting with you more in the future. As always, comments, questions, feedback, anything like that, more than welcome. In this
Sad LK, have a good night.
Mega Steinfeld, have a good evening.
You as well next time. Yes.
So, we do have a Chalice of the Void coming down on 1 against Josh. That is potent. However, looking at this hand, with the Birds of Paradise already, he has the option to go for this Glittering Wish into a Wear Tear.
A Wear Tear, yep.
And that is going to be some pretty big game. Now, take a look in Merton's hand. Also has a Blood Moon.
You're gonna see a fused Wear Tear.
This is about to be...
If Martin doesn't realize... Oh, no.
Now,
Oh,
Josh can't produce... Oh, because he's got
can't
the
produce
red...
white.
Oh! We get to actually see Wear and Tear used for both halves. Oh, except he can't cast Tear.
It's a fused spell. It costs 3 mana.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
This is going to be a
you
rules
just do
interaction if ever I saw
Oh my
one.
gosh.
Oh my
This
goodness.
is so great.
Darksteel Badger, you're watching, Storm. This is going to be sweet. Oh,
right,
this is
here's the
going
3
to be
mana.
cool. Do it!
Fused Wear Tear. Boom, boom.
Ah! Flip it. Flip, transform the table. Transform it.
Get that out of here.
Yes.
We're gonna play this guy.
Oh, let's get some table flipping. That was beautiful. Oh my goodness. That was fantastic.
What about Judge, Tevin? That was correct.
Oh, let's get some table transforming. Oh, man.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Attack for 5.
I mean, to be fair, Martin has still got a good thing going, and Josh is still under pressure. But how often do you get to see that?
Do.
Oh, man. Darth Quizno, on the one hand, we do try and be positive here. Criticism should always be constructive. Martin definitely did make an unusual play going against a known Wear and Tear. But, nonetheless, we do try and be positive and supportive of the players who are willing to be on stream for us. So, Assumed Visions from Josh. Oh, man. Goldfish, while it's on the stack, it's 3.
Yep, while it's on the stack fused, it is a 3 mana card. Alright, so another Birds of Paradise, and Josh is going to be able to, next turn, Glittering Wish, go get Jeskai Ascendancy, put Jeskai Ascendancy into play, and start going off.
Start having a hippin' and hoppin' in time.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah. That is pretty sweet. Oh,
Pella,
man.
Blood Moon. Yep.
Darth, that is totally understandable. I just wanted to toss it out there. It's a message to all. But
David's 3-0 and has not dropped a game.
That's pretty good.
Turns out Dredge is good when people don't have Graveyard Hate.
But Darth, you are absolutely correct. Knowing that the wear and tear was there, I think Martin just got a little bit hasty, forgot about the fuse ability
Yeah,
on
I
that
think
card,
he forgot that Fuse lets you be able to
and
cast
made a
both
very
sides.
critical misplay. That was absolutely true.
Well, an attack for 7 poison. Here we go. Josh. Ball's in your court.
So,
That was a basketball reference.
who can name that obscure reference for a playmat?
I did, so I won the playmat. Sorry.
Ah! It's okay, I'll make him give it away later. So, a Glittering Wish from Josh, activating both of these birds, and I like this as a play. Because now you are able to untap them, it means that you're at least going to have both birds getting their worth for this.
Touchdown 12.
To where even if Martin has the removal in front of all this, it's not getting removed in front.
Martin doesn't have
response to
mana.
everything.
This is completely up to Josh. Can
Gut
he go
Shot
off?
has been known to be run. Now it's not being run, but Josh needs to at least accept the possibility of it.
That's fair.
In formats in which it has been particularly relevant, Gut Shot has been very much a factor in the affinity list. It's not common right now, but that's at least. Wait, could Martin have won by equipping Inkmoth?
He did equip Inkmoth. That's why Josh has 7 poison counters.
Yes.
So,
I don't believe so. Not to my knowledge. Alright.
alright, so here we are going to see Jeskai Ascendancy come down. And
So,
Serum Visions. Here we go. Okay, drew into a Visions of Beyond. Gonna scry a couple, put those both on bottom. Off we go.
Siege Rhino, it's good to see you. Thank you so much.
Guns for Life, it's possible that he could have had the win if he had thought to equip, but I don't think he was looking at the, Infect win as his way of winning. It looks like Martin is not going to pay 2 life for Spellskite this time. He's going to just let Josh untap the land with Fate Stitcher. Okay, Visions of
Josh,
Beyond. Here comes a loot.
I gotta be honest, I have a really hard time picturing how Josh doesn't win from this point.
He can... Okay. Him hitting a cantrip there was very important.
But even, like, there's obviously the whiff factor, but even with a Visions of Beyond being a huge game there. But, Nine Walker, it is great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. CJ, it's good to see you first, so that's what's said. Hockey, it's thank you so much for joining us as well. I don't get to see you too much.
Stony Silence.
Actually,
Probably going to
that's,
the bottom.
You know,
I mean, it's a decent backup plan.
actually, it wins the game as it sits. I mean, it essentially wins the game right now.
That's fair, but Josh's only cantrip right now is a Thought Scour.
Kyle DeBomb, we're currently in round 3 of 4. We might try and maybe get some demo games on at the end, or we'll stick around and talk a little bit, but definitely moving a little bit quick today. Also, remember, join us on Sunday for a proper Pauper Paper tournament. Yay! Proper Pauper. Oh, man, sorry. I was thinking of the Stomp Clap, Stomp Stomp Clap, which is, of course, an extremely obscure reference, but not so much that I'm willing to
Not
give
so
away
much that we're
playable
going to do a playmat for
from
it.
an Always Sunny episode.
Of course.
From the Birdmen.
Alright, well, Thought Scour going to target Martin. The loot is going to happen. Josh going to send away a land, and then draw a card. And that looks to be the Stony Silence that he decided to keep there. So Josh going to tap some more things.
We do not often, but we are streaming it at Sunday. We're having a Pauper tournament. Join us on Sunday at noon. We will be having a Pauper tournament, and hopefully we can continue doing it more in the future. But we are going to have a proper paper tournament. Proper paper Pauper tournament. No.
And now we're off and running. Josh has 2 cantrips in his hand. This should be...
Basically, it is MTGO banning
Sure.
plus Hymn to Turok, Goblin Grenade, Sinkhole, and High Tide are all banned in addition to the MTGO ban list. So we're looking at, these are the distribution of blue, white, and red mana. Using the dice as a little bit of a visual for us. A visual.
Very nice.
Super. So, And actually, this is huge because Josh has got so much mana production per spell. So, Chaz Jones, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It's great having you. Thank you for joining the Fortnights. I look forward to interacting with you more in the future. Any questions, comments, feedback, constructive criticism, rock and roll attitude, anything like that, as long as it's family friendly, is welcome in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from, how you found us, and what you like to play in Magic.
Taman, it was the wonderful world of Fallen Empires, and they were like, hey, let's print him to Turok.
Mm-hmm. So, a Cerulean Wisp targeting that. Now that is going to be, we're going to see an untap there. We're going to want to activate that bird,
Untap.
float a mana, and then
Untap it again. And now it's a bluebird.
Crimson Rum, yes, there's a YouTube channel, which I'm sure one of our phenomenal mods is going to link into the chat for you. Beepy Sounds? What a great name. I don't know, I have this kind of stream of consciousness thing. There we go. There's the YouTube link for you. You can...
Boom. Sleight of hand. Let's loot, getting a Cerulean Wisps, and then taking a land.
Yeah. Now this Stony Silence is a particularly big thing for two reasons. Because you do have it both shutting down the spell sky and meaning that even if he does manage to not go off this turn, one, there's a huge amount of damage from these spell skies that can knock him down. And you're looking at an opposing board of an Inkmoth Nexus, but with no Batterskull to equip, no Arcbound Ravager can save you, so you've got at least 3 turns as the board currently sits, once now that you have this out. A Blinkmoth coming out would make it a 2-turn clock. But even still, that's the fastest possible clock that Martin can draw, is a Blinkmoth Nexus, drop it down. So, right now Martin is in a very tight spot as far as being able to apply pressure, so even if Josh manages to not go off...
So here's Gataxian Probe, Josh needs one more spell, and Martin is dead.
And there's another Mox, which is a dead card.
Well, he's going to loot, and he's going to draw. He needs a spell.
Interesting.
And he hits Thought Scour, so
Nice.
this game is over.
My favorite pauper deck is both Burn and Affinity.
It's called Burnfinity, and it doesn't work most of the time.
No, so I just put it into 2 different decks.
Yeah.
And apparently, we are going to be casting a Thought Scour, getting a Sylvan.
Mill a couple cards.
We get rid of a Swan Song.
So 7, 14, and
And a
that
Jeskai.
should be-
Actually, that's a
that should be
Jeskai
lethal.
Ascendancy.
But we're going to combat and crash.
Ooh. Now, when you consider that this entire
That's
turn was
7.
building up to this damage, would you say that he was slowly crashing into the opposing field?
No,
Yes.
I wouldn't say that, TJ.
And a beautiful...
Is Burnfinity better than Scapefinity? Yes.
And Josh going for an attack with those 3 creatures, massive amount of damage.
Oh, Jeskai Ascendancy, taking that one down.
Tremendous damage. Did he draw a card, then put 2 in the bin? He, I believe,
the
did the
loot
loot.
ability from Jeskai Ascendancy.
Did draw, put 1 in, and then milled the
milled
2,
two,
and then drew 1.
So, yep.
Your phone recognizes Scapefinity as a word now?
So, interestingly enough, I believe that puts Josh to 3-0, which means that our finals might be Jeskai Ascendancy versus Dredge.
That should be interesting. In the meantime, let's try and get another...
Looks like pairings are up for the last round.
We are flying through it today. My goodness, these Wednesdays are going fast. But remember, we do stream 4 times a week. We're going to head back up to the booth and get ready for round 4. We'll see you there. Hi there to Darksteel Badger. Do I run it yet? I have not yet slotted the Thermo Alchemist into my burn list. I'm open to it. Currently, I'm still in the version that is on significantly less creatures, and we'll see. I don't suppose by any chance there's a different undefeated finals match.
Would you rather have a different one?
Well, what is the other one?
I don't know if there's another undefeated match.
All right. We're gonna see if there's another undefeated match because we do try and get the finals up there. Chigusa, definitely have a good one. Now, remember to everybody, be sure to check out. Yes, we are. I believe David is still working on the favorite bar, but that's still a
Josh and David are the only undefeateds.
All right. Remember to check out that website. We do now sell stuff online. We've just got the online store running. Dylan put a ton of time into making this. So let's see what we can do. And this is gonna be Josh versus David.
Josh is still facing the wall.
All right, and we'll see what we can do now. This is Dredge versus Jeskai Sensei. Who takes her edge?
Oh man, I think I'm going to give it to Ascendancy. I think Josh has been playing Ascendancy more than David has been playing Dredge, and I think that it's essentially going to be a Goldfish, and I think Josh's Goldfish is faster.
It's Chets. Thank you so much for hitting that follow button. Welcome to the Fortnights. It's great having you. Always feel free to toss your thoughts into the chat. Questions, comments, feedback, constructive criticism, positive feedback. I feed off of that. But always feel free to toss in the chat. We like talking to you, hearing from you, interacting with you, asking you questions, and of course doing cool things as always. Always feel free to check out that chat and check it out if you have any magic needs. Feel free to support the store. Currently, that's our only way to actually show the monetary value of this stream, which up until now has been 10 months of 0. We make no money doing this. We are nothing but a volunteer stream with a store owner who's willing to let us be back here and players who are willing to be on stream. Now, that is huge and we've been able to do a lot, but this is something that at least lets us prove the worth to Dylan by helping support this shop and work to maybe generate some income from him as a result of it. So if you would like to support this store in any way, while it does not directly support us, it supports us very much indirectly by making Dylan want to support us and help us move forward, which he has done a great job with. But anytime you can add a monetary incentive, that's huge. So if you do want to support the stream, be sure to check out GeekFortressGames.com for at least hopefully most of your magic needs and toss some bucks the way.
Taman, no. Until you are a partner, you do not get any ad revenue.
That is correct, and we got denied.
Yep.
We applied, and I got an email yesterday that we have not been accepted. We're going to try again in a couple of weeks and see what we can do. Let's head on down. It's round 4. So yep, we make 0 from this entirely. Which,
Doras.
don't take that as complaining, because we're doing this very much because we love it.
Absolutely.
And but if there ever comes a time in which we can get some sort of income, then it certainly helps. Okay. What does it take to be partnered? Apparently more.
Yeah, it's like so iffy as to what it actually takes.
So in the meantime, we're going to be positive about it. It's just a thing. We're not going to let it hold
we
it
have
down.
a nice chessboard for sale.
Actually, I might. I have multiple fairly nice chessboards at my house.
Boom.
I used to I used to collect. I had like 6 of them, but some of them are not like nice as in like expensive marble, but nice as in like a hand carved like wood thing. It was pretty cool actually.
Which one of us? We both have faces.
Hey, Million Little. I'm assuming that you mean Josh and David, but
That's true. They do have faces. You just can't see them.
yeah. Crimson Rum, thank you so much for the positive feedback. And thank you to everybody else. While I would definitely advocate for continuing to be positive and not really, I don't know, I don't fault Twitch for saying no. And hopefully we can continue to maybe meet their requirements or meet their requests. But I do appreciate that at least that people are surprised.
Can you compete here over the internet? No.
Unfortunately not. Maybe one day.
Looks like David mulling down to 5.
Which actually, I'm not that concerned about. Let's see here. Austin the Limp, have a good evening. I appreciate you checking out the shop. Sorry to not provide you a match, but hopefully there will be some more matches afterwards, so feel free to swing back around once you are done. Regardless, have a fantastic evening. Does Josh run Villainous Wealth in the board to wish
he's
for?
mulling, this is a mold of 3, it looks like.
Which actually is still very doable in this deck. Interestingly enough. Now, it's obviously not good. And
No.
this one is not a great 3. But of all the decks
Loam
that can
Amalgam.
actually mulligan and survive,
Well, Josh going to get a Bird's Paradise in
Yep.
play.
and that is a phenomenal start for Josh.
David with a Faithless Looting off the top. Wow.
Beautiful.
Fantastic. And be able to get this prized amalgam and the loam into the graveyard, so he'll be able to start dredging.
I mean, it's a long shot at this point. Josh is looking like he's in a really solid position, and I'll be curious to see. It's going to come down to if David is running things like when he's got the Journey in his hand, which is not great. Chousing, what are your thoughts on Lonepox in Modern? I knew someone who played it a lot. It was a lot of fun. It was beautifully cool to watch, but unfortunately it is kind of slow. And with the amount of aggro decks that can develop a board before you can inhibit their ability to cast
there's an
cards, they can have some
ascendancy.
trouble.
Josh is scrying and has an ascendancy on top.
So David, with the Faithless Looting, which basically made it a 4-card hand, with keeping that on top, so able to at least put his, he had the 2 lands, he had that, he just didn't have the Dredge card, but he was able to put one in the graveyard, so he needed the Enabler more than anything, was able to get that off the top. David with a pretty phenomenal start, all things considered. Ah, man.
Alright, and casting Glittering Wish to go get Flesh Blood. Wowza.
That is curious. What's one half of that again?
I know the blood half, it deals damage to target creature or player equal to the power of the creature.
That's the one.
But flesh side of it, I think.
Flesh is exile target creature card from your graveyard. No, it's usually target creature. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. Bet you can't tell that's a fuse card with my head being on sideways. Let's see what we can do here. There we go. Got it for you. That's what we're grabbing, and Josh intending to go for the giant kill by just throwing.
David able to get back a prized amalgam here off of a Narcomoeba that was dredged.
What do I think of Blue-Black Mill? It's actually, if you have a particularly creature-heavy meta, you can do pretty decently well. Check out the list that did really well at
I
GPLA.
think Josh is going to be going off here. We've got a Jeskai Ascendancy in play, and a Cantrip, and we are off to the races.
Ooh, now BP Sons, I gotta ask, did I actually Ugly bring you in here? Did he recommend the stream to you? Because you're talking about interacting with him, so either you know each other personally.
Why would you ever
potentially found it.
discard Gitaxian Probe? It's free mana.
That is interesting.
That
Possibly.
is very odd to me.
Yeah, that. I don't actually know. That's awesome. Thank you so much to Ugly, and
Blue on tap.
oh, well that makes sense. That makes sense how you would know each other for that situation. But thank you so much. It's so great to have both of you here joining us in the stream, and thank you. I was not quite prepared for that progression. I was like, cool, introduced a friend. Oh, you do know each other. Oh. The escalation.
Those cards were so awkward than they were in standard. You're right. It was one of those you like draw it and you go.
Oh, man. That is...
Alright, so Josh getting a Fate Stitcher back here. That should be pretty close to game. Because that's going to be plenty of mana for him. Getting another Fate Stitcher in the yard. Oh, this is just not good for David.
No, and he's also got that totally spacing on the name of it suddenly. But the Visions from Beyond. Visions from Beyond,
yep.
as I work my way through it.
Ancestral?
Basically Ancestral. It's a single blue for draw a card.
Draw.
But if you have
If there are 20 cards in
a graveyard,
it's draw
3 instead, which
mean,
is
we're getting the
incredible.
I don't think we're at 20 yet. I think we're in the mid-teens. So he's going to be able to cast one of these.
Very cool. Can dig it.
Alright, so Narcomoeba gets tapped down.
May have broken our stream. Let's see. All right. Nah, I just broke one half of it.
Ah.
Yep. So let's see what we can do. Sorry, I lost the card viewer because I broke it, but I'm gonna get it back up. That's what we're gonna do.
Real soon.
Real soon.
Real quick, lack. There's a PBTU at my LGS in a couple weeks. I still don't know what I want to play. I usually play Absent Company, but with all the Dread Jets going around, I'm assuming there's going to be more Graveyard Hate. You are probably right. I don't know what to tell you. Jeskai Ascendancy look like it's pretty good.
Let's see here. You normally play Abzan Company. Man, that deck is cool. That deck is very cool. So you can play that one. You might be able to morph it into a different deck if you have that option, but otherwise I will say as long as you are willing to play through the hate and maybe make some different sideboard changes, it is, as always, a format that rewards deck familiarity, and I'll be curious to see if people overboard to go for, like, instead of you going for the Grafdigger's Cage, go for the Rest in Peace, which
Here's
might
Visions of Beyond.
give you a little bit of options to where if you go for the Spike Feeder combo as opposed to it, you won't rely on the graveyard as much, and it might give you some options for answering the potential hate. Those are my thoughts as someone who is currently very distracted and trying to get this stream back up and running in the moment.
Absolutely. So Josh has 1 mana of basically each color except for black. So we're going to see a Gitaxian Probe, and then Josh is going to be able to use Flesh Blood to deal damage to David, and then attack him with everything. That's game. Josh on Jeskai Ascendancy takes game 1.
So, very, very commanding win there. That is,
David mulled to 3.
but David mulled to 3. And that, I gotta say, I am impressed by that. You know, when people say about, like, what deck mulls the best in Modern, right now, the best deck, the deck that mulls the best in Modern is probably Dredge. And then you were able to see it there. That was a mulligan to 3. That against any deck that actually was, you know, maybe playing a fair strategy to, or something that is a bit more based on actually using the board, David's development of that board was pretty in line with what other people are doing. And that's off of a mulligan to 3.
So it looks like David is looking at his sideboard here. We've got 4 Leyline of the Void. Bring him in. Stops Fate Stitcher, stops...
It stops
that's the most important thing.
visions
Stops
of
Fate Stitcher.
visions from
Stops
beyond.
visions from being ancestral.
Yep.
I think David is also looking at Abrupt Decay, which is a good answer to Birds of Paradise, as well as the namesake card of the deck in Jeskai Ascendancy.
Yep. Good to see another Tron fan. Tron mulls very well. Affinity mulls well, but not nearly as well as Dredge or Tron. But I agree that Affinity mulls better than most people give it credit for. It's a little bit more swingy though. Visions is any player.
It's any graveyard, yeah. So
never mind. You're actually completely correct.
that's true. But I think the most important thing is shutting down Fate Stitcher.
Yeah. And let's go ahead and seems best against Dredge. Yes. Oh man. Aggro Buddha, it's good to see a Company, another one. Though Company, another deck that mulligans well, I still have to say that I still think that Dredge is probably the best muller in the format right now.
So I don't know. I don't know if David is okay. It looks like he was looking through his deck. So it looked like he was just like sitting back and thinking.
Lador Findy mulls into a bad draft deck. I don't know. Usually the good starts are still really good starts, but I mean I've the lowest I've gone in one is 4, and that was just once. Seraphir, I got you the room reference if that's what you're going for. So. But yeah, it's basically as long as you keep one of your win pieces, the deck can power pretty well. It's definitely not as well as some of the others, but I have definitely seen some very good wins from Affinity. It's just significantly less consistent, but at least you're willing to mulligan low. Coolest of ultimatums, that's true. A mull to like 4 with a bridge though becomes actually kind of a better hand. I'll drop the bridge and look, no work needed. PP Sounds, have a great night. I guess I'll say goodbye to you in your own language, of course, which is beep boop, bop, beep beep boop, beep, beep 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 boop.
That seemed like a lot more than good night.
What
other spice did you throw in there, Teach?
I wanted to thank them for joining us, and that I hope to see them next time.
Oh,
yeah,
well, that makes sense then.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really wanted to show my appreciation. Man, David on the play with Dredge. Maybe keeping a full hand, and we are looking at, we don't have one of the enablers, so I think we are going to be going for a mulligan. We had plenty of the Dredge cards, no way to get him in there.
In there like swimwear.
I suppose. I suppose that is a
I don't know
si-
who's gonna get that reference. That one is.
I don't get that one.
There we go.
That is beyond me. Sounded like a binary
It
soul.
was in there like swimwear.
Is that even more accurate to
That
me?
was actually accurate to how it sounds.
Okay, I still no. Still no. Okay. Well, yes. Absolutely true. That ain't bad. Looks like the ley lines did come in.
Leyline you.
Josh's hand potentially. That Thought Scour not looking
He's
as
got this
good.
guy's ascendancy, but I think he was planning for this Fate Stitcher to be.
Yep.
Reference one over your head too, Coleman.
And Coleman and I know a
Yes.
lot of movies between the two of
It's
us.
not a movie,
Oh, that's probably why.
if that helps.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It
but-
is a video game.
Oh, then I definitely don't know.
Back in the day.
What, like MLB The Show?
No. But it is a sports game, so you're getting closer.
Huh. Okay, so we go for an
Now Josh
attack
will have to Thought Scour his opponent.
4-1, and I gotta tell you, after spending the weekend in Portland, I can't tell you how much fun it is to swing with Insolent Neonates. Nuclear Warrior, it's good to see you, and hello to the over 200 people joining us. Apparently
It was not NBA Jam, Seraph.
Okay. But, yeah, thank you to the over 200 people joining us. My name's TJ.
I'm Bryce.
We're streaming out of Geek Fortress in Snohomish, Washington. We do this 4 times a week. It's worth hitting that follow button, and if you haven't yet, be sure to clickety-clack that heart button, because we certainly appreciate it, and I'm always love to see the growth of this stream as we go forward and build this community of people who are seem to be very much based around the positivity and the fun of this game.
NBA Hang Time and DOA are also not the correct answer.
So, a Birds of
I don't
Paradise,
think anyone's gonna get
Drunenfield, and Abrupt Decay taking down that bird. David not going to take any chances on it as it currently sits. I did not do well day 2. I went 0-2 on day 2 and final record of 6-5, but then I made it to the finals of a Modern On Demand
Yeah.
and had some fun. I beat him in the first round.
It was really close.
It was so close.
It was a sweat. Madden, no, but you're on the right sport now.
Okay. Whoa, man.
Can I repeat the reference? It's in there like swimwear. Also, that kid looked like he had fly paper on his hands is also one from the same
Was
game.
this from Backyard Baseball? Or Backyard Football?
It is backyard football.
Nice. Okay. So we should probably go out and mention. We can't really reverse it at this point, but David doesn't have any black mana currently for say an Abrupt Decay.
Hey, David. How'd you cast that Abrupt Decay?
Just as a quick note going forward. Just
You guys do whatever fix you feel is necessary. Just pointing it out.
I mean, it's basically too late to fully go back and reverse to that point.
Yeah.
However, I think David might just be fetching for a black source at this point. Okay. Good catch, chat. Chat lethal. Getting them. So, we're going to go down to 15. I mean, there's not much more to do than like keep
So
pushing
Josh
forward.
does have a Jeskai Ascendancy in hand, so he can just cast Jeskai Ascendancy and start trying to do something.
I mean, it's a pass back, interestingly enough. So Josh being a little bit cautious about this, maybe.
David only has 2 cards in hand.
When you're dredging,
Now he
that's-
has 2 cards. Sorry.
the problem is not able to do a whole lot with this Insolent Neonate yet.
There's another Neonate.
And I'm really surprised that he kept a hand without a dredge card. Possibly on the merit of this Leyline of the Void, and I think that
I don't think Leyline is as important in this matchup against Jeskai Ascendancy as it is for against Dredge.
Eric, it's good to see you. And this is kind of the point. Let's go ahead and just chalk this up as our theme for the evening. Our theme for the evening is that there is sideboard cards and there's good sideboard cards, and not in their application from a deck building perspective or even a what to side in perspective, but in how you play them in your game and how you keep your hands.
Answer top racks real quick. Menace, yes. Those have Menace.
Yes.
As I pointed out to many people this weekend. Attack. Block it.
Nice.
Menace.
Be nice.
Menace.
But Menace was a very fun ability, often forgotten about the card. So the card does have to be required blocked by 2 creatures, and it's an ability that ends up actually being relevant, interestingly. But that's a good question. That's a good question, Top Practice. So, the theme for the evening is that if you are going to keep a hand with a sideboard card, make sure that you can also apply pressure. That when you drop down this sideboard card, you are going to be able to capitalize on the faltering that your opponent is going to do. That you can actually not give your opponent the time to recover, to shift their game plan, to rebuild their game plan, to just go about it the long way. You know, you can build a roadblock all day you want, but there are back roads to victory in decks like this. And if your intent is to just guard this roadblock, then eventually they're going to get in behind you, and you're going to lose. So, okay.
Well, an attack for 2, down to 11.
Ladorb, that is a phenomenal reference, by the way. Don't be a menace to society while drinking your juice in the hood. That is a phenomenal reference. Man, I haven't heard that reference since I worked back at Blockbuster.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's obscure. Otherwise, we do have the Jeskai Sensei. We've got a couple of mana available to us. Josh being hesitant, and do we know exactly what cards are in his hand right now?
I know he has another Ascendancy.
Okay.
I believe he has a Serum Visions.
So maybe I'm just a little bit curious about why being so cautious right now. We do have a Serum Visions. We appear to have a Thought
He
Scour
has
as
Thought Scour and
well.
Serum Visions. I think maybe deploying this second Jeskai Ascendancy will make him feel like he'll be able to go off.
Mm-hmm.
Because that'll give him 2 mana every time he casts a spell, and drawing even more cards during each turn. So I think that this turn is the turn that Josh tries to go off.
So I would say that I'm perplexed by Josh not quite actively accelerating his game plan at this point, because he does. This is another situation in which now he needs to capitalize on. But Darude is modern legal. Ha. Basically needs to get carried up to lethal to wish for flesh blood.
Did
True.
Josh not have another land to fetch?
True.
He failed to find. That's awkward. But I think he'll be fine.
Huh.
You cast the other Ascendancy. You loot once. Make sure you tab your Caryatid to cast the Ascendancy.
Interesting.
There
Okay.
We're gonna untap, and we're gonna loot. We're gonna send that Fleet Stitcher to exile, or the Birds of Paradise to exile. See?
Okay, so we're going to get rid of the Birds of Paradise after casting a spell. Go in for the loot. SVP Orfeo, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for joining, and hello to everybody else who is joining us in the chat. It's phenomenal having over 200 people here on a Wednesday. If you haven't yet, be sure to hit that follow button. Hasn't been a whole lot of it today. Now, granted, I'll tell you this. I'm not too hung up on that, because if we have not been getting a whole lot of follows today, that means that there's 250 people who are regulars and people who continually watch this chat and join us consistently, and that is also incredible. So thank you to all of you, thank you to all the lurkers, thank you to all the regulars, to the yeah, it's great having you all, and thank you so much. It's really hard to express kind of how much it means to us verbally, but it means the world to us. So Sylvan Caryatid up to 4 power, and 7 toughness if that matters to you. Otherwise, this doubles Jeskai Sensei means that every time that he casts a spell, he gets 2 untapped triggers, which means that he's producing 2 mana off of that, which means that if it's a 1 mana spell, he's continually producing this mana, this extra mana. So as he continues to go about this,
Sylvan is in fact a defender, but he is going to go off by using Glittering Wish to go get Flesh Blood, and using the blood half of it to deal damage to David.
did you notice that they changed the font for the word Gatherer on the Gatherer website?
They changed it to the Bellerin font.
When did they do that?
Recently.
Huh.
Nuclear Warrior, thanks for hitting that follow.
Thank you so much for hitting that follow button. Crimson Love, I'm glad that you do feel it. And as always, I guess actually as brand new, if you do want to help support this store and help basically show Dylan that there is in fact a monetary gain and a reason to let us continually take up his supply closet for almost the last year.
He's not missing it. He's been plussing up. He's been plussing every time he taps for mana.
Then feel free to join that or visit that website, geekfortressgames.com. We do now have the online shop up and running as of today. I haven't even had a chance to look over it, but we did just get it together, and if you want to check it out, potentially buy any cards that you may be looking for, say hi, toss in those comments, pretty much whatever you need. Toss it in there, and it would just mean the world, because I know that Dylan, for a very small business as this is, he put up a pretty decent amount of capital to really get that developed and put together in a very short amount of time. And Dylan took a risk to get that website going and up and running, and I would be lying if I said that I wasn't maybe a decent amount of the push to try and get that up and running so that people from the stream could support.
Mm-hmm.
And so just to toss it out, it would in fact mean the world to us to get that support from the sales perspective. So some of you have been asking about it in the past. That's what I gotta say. That's my pitch. And while I may not fully enjoy doing these kind of sales pitches, I can say that Dylan is a phenomenal place, and Dylan is a phenomenal guy. Geek Fortress is a phenomenal place, and I can't be more pleased to support it in any way that I can.
Absolutely.
Doro, it's good to see ya.
So the David is not asleep right now. He is just he's deciding whether he wants to loot away these insolent neonates to try to find something. So Scarscale Ritual resolve. Josh going to draw.
He does actually
cards.
have an odd amount. One of those is actually a -1/-1 counter.
Yep, the black one is the -1/-1.
Lightning Eagle 418, it's good to see you. Now, David, what did you think of the shop? I actually haven't had a chance to look at it yet. Oh, look at that. It looks great.
Looks great.
Thank you so much for the positive there. So hopefully people are enjoying it.
It is a craps table now. Look at all those dice.
Personally, I'm more of a Texas Hold'em kind of guy, but we are going to be moving up. We got a ton of them, and eventually we're just going to be looking for that Glittering Rish more than anything.
What outs does Dredge have? Top Practice asks. His out is that Josh fizzles. That's his out right now. I don't think that he has an actual out. If David could draw into 2 Abrupt Decays, he only has 1 black mana, so that can't get rid of both Ascendancies. There's not really a lot to do.
McPatches, get in touch with me on Twitch, Twitter, or Reddit under Red Baron MTG. It's worth talking about, certainly. When we're getting beta bolts in stock again, we had one, actually.
We did.
Texas wins, it's good to see ya. But what are the outs at this point? Josh could fizzle.
That's about it. David can draw 2 cards if he wants to, but it's not going to get results.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this is are conspiracy packs cheaper than other sets? No. They tend to be about
No,
4.
They should be the same price.
Should be about the
And
same.
as a matter of fact, your game store should have them, and they should have them at the normal price.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't get to a local game store, which I would recommend going to, they are releasing draft packs at big retail stores like Target and Walmart. It is a 3-pack of Conspiracy 2 packs.
Mm-hmm. To MTGZ, potentially yes, but it was the finals, which means they get to. That means that they get to be on camera, and it is looking like we are going to see a win. We are going to try and get another match out. Maybe we might even take a look out to see if we can get another one set up. But while it may not be one of the more exciting decks to watch, it is always interesting to just see that these decks exist. Mm-hmm. And while we do try and put on some of the more known decks, we try and put on some of the more fun decks, we try and put on the brews, we try and put on the interesting stuff, we try to limit the amount that these really, really slow decks to watch are on there. But I do think that it's at least worth showing that these kind of things do exist, and that Modern is a format that is so much more diverse than even what you'll see at the top tables, because the true, I guess, the lifeblood of the format exists in those local stores. And being able to show kind of the different things that show up is something that is important to us. And while sometimes it leads to a match like this,
So Glittering Wish, going
We
to
try
go
and
to
limit
Flesh
that.
Blood, and this should be a game.
yep, that is going to be a game. Okay. So, that's going to be a win in 2. And David, after going for a 6-0 undefeated run, loses in 2. Okay.
Jeskai Ascendancy, proving why the deck was so feared when it started off. David going to do some looting here, see if he can find something. Finds another Insolent Neonate. So he's going to sacrifice Insolent Neonate, gets a 2/2 zombie.
This is what Flesh and Blood does. The card itself, basically look at the blood section.
And that is it.
So, we are going to head back up to the booth. We're going to try and get another match for you, so stick around, because there's more to come. We're going to try and get another... maybe we could probably fit another one on there. There's still 20 minutes left in the round.
As long as there's one going. They've been going quick today.
Exactly, and maybe something a little bit more interactive if able.
Absolutely.
We'll see you there, and let's head up to the booth. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us. It's awesome to have you. Chromatic Blast, I actually don't dislike the reprints at all. I mean, talking about there being... There was, what's her face? The one that kills you if you cast her, or don't actually pay for her casting cost. The point is that Conspiracy gets to put in reprints because it's a multiplayer format, and that's where they get to do those things. While the flavor of the set is phenomenal, I am more than happy to give up some slots to get some much-needed reprints. And at a certain point, you have to accept that they need to go somewhere. And if they're going to put in any kind of set in which it is going to be impactful to its price, you got to do it in one of these unlimited print run sets. And that's kind of the big point there.
Okay, so there is one match still going there in Game 2. If they go to a Game 3, they will be moving over for us. It is Mason versus Ryan, so Zoo versus
Obzon?
Mono Blue Tron.
Okay.
But other than that, all the other matches are done.
Okay. But yeah, I'm mostly just, does it work flavorfully? No. But I would much rather have Inquisition of Kozilek than not have Inquisition of Kozilek.
There you go.
So, that's kind of the way that it goes. We're going to try and get another match up there. And, my goodness, we're at 225 here on a Wednesday. Make sure to hit that follow button every Monday. We've got Standard at 6:30 Pacific Time. Every Wednesday and Saturday, we've got Modern. 7 o'clock on Wednesdays, 6 o'clock on Saturdays. Every Friday at 7:30, we've got Legacy. And this coming Sunday, very soon, 5 days away? Something like that.
Very close to it.
You can join us on Sunday at noon. It's an extra special stream. Now, these Sunday streams have always been fun. Maybe we'll be doing a couple of giveaways. Maybe we'll be looking to give away some of those playmats from Portland.
What?
But it's worth checking it out because we are finally doing some Pauper here at Geek Fortress. You have asked, we have answered. Basically, I'll be honest with you, this is something that we've been working on for the last probably 3 months. Austin the Lamb, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. And it is something that is just difficult to find the time for and really organize these events because of how tight our schedule is, because we try and do so many events. So, as it goes, we've been working on this one for a long time. We're finally able to put it together. I'm really excited about this Pauper tournament so that and hopefully you'll come in, join us, and have some fun. Is Modern overpowered?
Zalalax is Modern overpowered. I don't think so. I think it's right where it needs to be right now. I like where it's at. I think Dredge making a resurgence could be something to look at, but we'll have to see what happens. I think it's fine right now.
My answer to that is a bit more complicated. But Smokey the Bear, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It's great having you. Link to the website. Let's do it. If someone could be so kind. But power level is entirely contextual. And that's just kind of the way that it goes. So is Modern overpowered? I don't think so. Billy TV, I suppose. Bile TV or Billy TV, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. Thank you for the chain lightning that we're getting. It's incredible to see that support. But I think within its context, the format does have a lot of checks and balances. Now, the aggro decks are certainly popular right now, and the control decks are certainly being developed. Each set seems to be giving more and more tools to them, and I'll be curious to see what happens as we go forward with this. But as we move forward,
Looks like we're getting moved over.
wonderful. We are going to have another match. It is going to be Mono Bluetron versus Zoo. Is
So
that-
facing the wall is going to be Ryan on Tron.
Is this running grid?
Ryan covered up
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay.
against Mason.
Very cool. Very cool. So this is a
Tron up against Mazu. They're
All
going to
right.
game 3.
interesting. Zalalax94, thank you so much for hitting that follow button.
Audio is missing.
It shouldn't be. Is anybody else having audio trouble?
Let us know. Audio is good, Doro says.
Interesting. Don't have a lot of standard stuff, do you, as far as like standard decks? Oh, standard stuff for the shop.
We're working on it.
We are working on developing that one. The store has been significantly more modern based, and also he was really focusing on getting like the desirable stuff and less the commons and uncommons up there.
ADTR64. Thanks for hitting that follow button.
Thank you so much for joining the Fortnights. We appreciate you ever so much. Any comments, questions, feedback, anything of that nature is always welcome in the chat. I look forward to interacting with you more in the future. Every single one of you, whether you're hitting the follow button today or you hit it 10 months ago, your support means the world to us. Let's head on down for Sweet Game 3 here in round 4. As we move forward with that website, I'm sure we will continue to develop to add some of the more popular cards that are not overly expensive. But Dylan basically spent aggro. I can tell you why Tybalt sold
the Tie
out.
Lord. Thanks for hitting the follow button.
I can certainly try and put some other things in. I can maybe try and give some Tybalts back.
It's more of a medium zoo.
Yeah.
It's not big zoo or reckless zoo. It's medium zoo.
Tyler, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It does mean the world for us. But yeah, the website, of course, we're going to add more things as we move forward. But we tried to get all the stuff that was at least desirable and had somewhat of a price tag on it. Dylan spent basically the last couple of weeks almost non-stop working to get this fully developed and working with
Yeah,
the
he's
website.
been working on it a lot.
Wish you could subscribe. Wakeside, we were actually denied Twitch partnership. We applied for it last Wednesday. I got an email yesterday that we were not successful in obtaining it, but we were encouraged to try again in a couple of weeks, so we're going to try again in a couple of weeks. Okay. So-
Mason has... It looks like he had a flint hoof boar in hand. I'm surprised he didn't go for it there. I think he's wanting to keep up this ancient grudge.
As a quick note, while I am a huge advocate for the website and I do do a lot of assistance at the shop, Dylan is the correct contact person for questions about it, and there will be a contact button. I believe any questions about the website should be directed towards him. I unfortunately am not an authority on it on the website as it currently sits. So if you do have any questions, feel free to hit that contact button, which I'm sure is there, and ask Dylan. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to provide assistance in any way that he can.
Mm-hmm.
Because he absolutely wants to see this website be successful. He put up a lot of capital to try and turn it into a really big, cool thing and get it done. And
Here's flint hoof boar.
while I certainly can't speak for him, I do know that, I imagine that anytime that you're a small business owner and you put up that kind of capital, it's, I imagine, stressful. So I'm hoping that this is successful for him in any way that I can support that by talking about it here. I'd like to.
Solemn Simulacrum off of Tron Lands.
Mm-hmm. Tybalt is always sweet. I even got to talk about him a little bit on Reddit the other day.
And then Treasure Mage. Because why not?
Alright. David, that is a good note. I will mention that to him. That one I will mention to him as soon as I see. If you also have the capability of doing the contact button, let me know. Now, a Treasure Mage coming down grabbing a Worm Coil engine.
Oof.
Aggro Buddha, there should be a comments section. Toss it into the comments. I'd be happy to sign anything on there. Okay. So, Just going to block that Crude Ape. It's going to die. Ryan's going to draw a card. Now, we do have a Wormcoil Engine, and that's going to be big for Mason to answer. Though, look at that Deccan Stone in hand. This...
Okay.
I mean, people always ask, is this like Aggro Zoo, Slow Zoo, Fast Zoo? Is this
And there's
Bushwhacker
Stony
Zoo?
Silence.
Night of the Reliquary
I think
Zoo?
Doro hit it on the head.
This is Mason Zoo. Dubes, it's good to see ya. The GP went great. Of the 5 decks we brought, 3 of them made day 2. We had a lot of fun. We were able to meet so many of the Fortnites for pizza. It was absolutely incredible. Phenomenal.
Okay. So, Wormcoil Engine comes down. Ryan has Remand in hand, so he'll be able to remand this Declaration in Stone. But Mason also has a Path to Exile, just in case.
So, a remand taking down that one, and it looks like that Path to Exile
Okay.
could end up getting used here. Now, this
I'll path.
this Stony Silence is a pretty good one, and
I would like that exiled.
And definitely keep in mind that Mason is doing a great job right here of, let's continue with our theme for the night. He dropped down a Stony Silence with a phenomenal board to continue applying pressure. And so as Ryan is still doing his... He's not giving Ryan the time to rebuild. He's lost his Treasure Mage. He did lose his Wormcoil Engine. He's not able to use the... he has assembled Tron, and of course this Stony Silence is less relevant than it would have been. But Mason is developing his board, and he's continuing to really lay this damage into Ryan, and producing damage, and making it to where Ryan does not have the luxury of waiting. So anytime that Ryan is drawing a card, he doesn't get to sit there and just pass it back, wait to counter spell, and draw a card with a remand. Because he's still under pressure. He's taking 5 per turn. That's 3 turns that he does not have the
It could
luxury
be
of
8.
wasting.
If Mason just wants to activate Treetop Village, he could just attack for 8.
Absolutely.
It looks like just going to get in there for 5. Puts Ryan down to 9.
Now
This
Mason...
is 2 turns.
This
Ryan's
Treetop
got 2
Village
turns.
is also huge. Because when you look at these Mono Blue Tron decks, so many of them are based around one basic...
Mindslaver. You got it.
around this one basic mentality, which is that so much of their removal is based around the idea that they cannot answer lands.
Yep.
Land creatures are not easy for blue to handle. And as he continues to
5
develop
you.
this board and Ryan continues to answer it over time, a big edge for Mason is going to be capitalizing on his ability to swing in for 3 and get through any of this non-land removal. You look at Repeal, return target non-land permanent. You look at Cyclonic Rift, even Overloaded, return all non-land permanents. You start looking at a situation in which your best answer is Dismember, and when you've got Ryan down to 9 already, you've got Boros Charm in the deck, you've got Lightning Bolts in the deck, you've got Helix in the deck in some numbers. Suddenly, him taking 4 damage just to remove a creature is not a very profitable way for Ryan to answer this. So Mason is doing a phenomenal job in this game 3. I really like the way that he's approaching this game. I like that he was a little bit slower in dropping down this Stony Silence. Now maybe that's because he just drew it. I honestly couldn't tell you. But I do like that however he's been going about this game plan, he's aware of what he needs to do to beat Ryan.
Yep, absolutely. I definitely agree. I think Mason so far has played this game very, very well. The last game, when I was out there, looked like it had gotten a little out of his hands. Ryan had essentially established a Slaver Lock. So, and Mason did not have the Stony Silence in that case.
Yeah.
So, activating Treetop Village. We're going to attack. This is lethal.
So I believe Ryan does have a Repeal in hand.
He's floating a lot of mana. Tap it all. I have nothing. Good game.
Oh, so that's a Spell Burst and a Condescend.
That doesn't do much against those creatures that are on board already.
Zala Lax, thank you so much for complimenting the commentary. Now let me ask you something. This is kind of important to us, and this applies to anybody else who has been continuing to be super supportive of us. I always ask for kind of the things that we can work on improving, and ways that we can go about that. But I guess by saying that really prompts me to ask, what about it is it that you really enjoy? Something that I kind of realized last night, actually, as I was just kind of sitting there, like, my goal when I do this is to try and convey something that I don't see done in other streams, which is that I have such a passion and enthusiasm and excitement for these, and when I watch it, I feel this excitement. And what I want to do when I'm doing this commentary is really, really pass that along. Really say, look, it's this excitement is just what it is, and maybe I can get you all to feel that too.
Mm-hmm.
Because something that I see in other ones is just that it's so, and this isn't anything against them. This is just a different style. Because I'm not going to say that the streams that are out there are some pretty incredible streamers. There's some pretty incredible people who are phenomenal at their job of commentary. But what I want is like the passion for the game. So that's at least what I like. David, thank you so much. McPatches, thank you so much. Jay Gross, thank you. Dead air is my least favorite thing. It is something that I work very hard to make sure that we try not to have any silence.
TJ practices talking a lot. Something that is very noticeable when you sleep in the same room as him, as he just goes to sleep and spews random things. He just practices just talking.
Oh my goodness. Consistent joyful commentary, thank you so much. You like that it's real cards. That's honestly a big thing, and that doesn't have a whole lot to do with us, but it's important. So, man, that is a lot of fun. Why is EE in Bluetron? Now that's an interesting question.
Probably hit 1 mana things, lets you blow up most of the Zoo deck, lets you blow up Bogles, so that might be why. It's also something that you can get back with Academy Ruins to continue blowing up those 1-drops, so.
Hey, Coolest of Ultimatums, you are welcome. My goodness, this is fun. Hey, McPatches, we would be. We would be, and we will be. Let's head back into the... There's nothing happening there. That's just an empty playmat that has that Facebook group that you can find, and also the Geek Fortress, where you can go to geekfortressgames.com and purchase most of your Magic needs.
Yeah!
Shameless plugs. Hi everybody, you know what, I gotta have something to plug. Basically, the website is very new and exciting for me. It's all kinds of awesome. The layout looks incredible. It actually was built with a surprising amount of your assistance. The way that it's laid out, as far as the way that you interact with the website, was chosen by the viewers. He basically asked for all of you to actually answer it. Mm-hmm. The way that the overall layout was actually decided by all the people in store. Dylan did such a phenomenal job, and while maybe a lot of you aren't fully aware of this, because it was very much on the more local side, one thing that I can say that at least makes me very thrilled about this website is how consistent Dylan's communication was about it. Yep. For the last basically 3 months that he's been working on it, maybe 2 months, something like that. But as he's been building it, almost every single step of the way, he's taken the time to ask the people in store, what are you looking for from this website? What layout do you like? Which one appeals to you? What do you like to see in your layouts? You know, do you like that running banner? Do you like this? Do you like that? Mm-hmm. You know, how do you want your layout to be? And he would communicate to us what his steps were, what he was working on, how he was going about it, what changes he would have to make with us, and are we okay with that, or do we need to find another solution? It was a really incredible way to see someone go about such a significant change that is honestly a huge impact on him.
Yeah. And
I think it was really cool that he recognized that it would actually have a huge impact on us as well. Does that make sense?
Took the words out of my mouth, TJ.
Boom.
That's why he has so many. He takes them out of my mouth.
I just take all the words, I gobble them up, and then I just baby bird them right out.
I give up.
Oh my goodness. McPatches.
That is a good option.
I believe that we do.
I believe that is one that is there.
I believe so. And if someone...
Personal Commerce usually has that option.
No. I saved you $100 by not switching to Geico. You're close. Wait, generic brand Geico. No! No! I messed up.
TJ broke the generic rule. That means everything's fair game!
No.
Except for Jimmy John's. They sponsored us that one time.
I won't manually take them out of his mouth, just figuratively. Oh my goodness, Captain Harlock, thanks. Expressions are big. Oh man, we're coming up on the end of the stream, but in the meantime, this means that you get to ask us questions, give us comments, give us feedback, constructive criticism. Tell us what you like about that website. Let us know. Apparently there's something a little bit odd with the search function for M13 and previous. I will mention that to Dylan as absolutely soon as possible. I gotta tell you all.
Possible that he just doesn't have any cards from those in there yet, maybe? I don't know.
I gotta tell you,
Lightning
apparently there is a comment section on there. That is absolutely true. David L. Byer, I will tell you what. Let me just respond to that a little bit. Replays, likely not going to ever happen. The biggest thing that we're working on right now is actually one day having a second feature table. Now, as for long breaks, fun fact. Don't stick around, but I'm just going to show you a quick button that we have. So we actually have a button that looks like this that hasn't been developed in a long time, so it might be rough. But we don't ever use it.
No.
You know why? Because we thought we would, and then we realized that no. We much rather be here, talk to you,
Fill space.
fill the space, and that's what we love doing. And so we're not going to take that step. But I will say, while I did maybe fish for it a little bit as a way of like what we can reinforce and keep doing, the amount of positive feedback is extremely humbling, and thank you, everybody. That's
6 words. Do you think we're gonna get a new Tybalt anytime soon?
yes, Tybalt's the best.
There you go.
In
In Kaladesh.
ooh, yes, too popular to ignore again. All right, Agribuddha, I will make sure that he does see that one. I'll see what I can do for you. What modern deck is powerful and fun for both of you? For both of us personally, like as in what deck would we both enjoy?
Probably Infect.
I think we both enjoy Infect. If we were to jump into more individualistic, I am a big fan of Naya Burn, and Affinity and Infect. I personally excel in playing aggro decks. That's where my mind really comfortably sits, and so that's at least what I find myself really in the realm of. You just built Naya Burn. If you fly up to the store, would you be able to sign? I'm not gonna fully advocate for you flying all the way up to the store, but I
if
will.
you're in the area.
If we ever find ourselves interacting with each other, I would be willing to. Sure. Are we gonna stream the pre-release of Conspiracy?
I don't think that's happening.
Not to my knowledge, draft has historically been extremely difficult.
And our setup is not made for multiplayer.
Oh, that's another good point. However, I'm going to say no, but I will look into it. I will look into it because Conspiracy does have such a cool thing going on for it.
How do you feel about tribal decks? What tribe we talking about?
Okay, let's see here. Can't wait for Popper. Good. Okay. How do you feel about tribal decks?
I think Merfolk is in a good place. I think Goblins still is looking for a few pieces to get fully going. I think Elves is finally coming to its own in the format. And Slivers, they got some work to do.
I have mixed feelings on it. No, that's not true. That's not true. I have nothing but positive feelings about tribes. I love that there's something about the game that can be so irrelevant and could have very easily been left out of it, but instead creates these passions. And that's what this is. This entire game for me, I describe myself as a Timmy Spike, to where I do like, proving that I'm able to do things really well. And I do like...
I don't know if I'd call Eldrazi a tribe.
It's totally a tribe. But at the end of the day, the reason why I love this game, the reason I appreciate it, the reason I want to be a part of this community is because of the emotions that come out of it. And Tribal does such an incredible job of eliciting emotions for something that just otherwise wouldn't. Because you're able to build these synergies, but really, look at Merfolk fans. Like, you look at anyone who's like a hardcore Merfolk player, they are a hardcore Merfolk player. That deck has one of the best...
everything they can.
That deck has one of the best followings, like, of any tribe in any deck.
You've been to their subreddit, right?
Oh,
Fish.
absolutely.
It's a great...
It's a great
place. They are extremely welcoming too.
Sonny Tuman, I'm guessing that name. If a pronunciation guide, it would be appreciated
Or
if
like
I messed
Sunny
it up.
Tuiman.
But thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It's awesome having you. The point is that I think that tribes are good because they make people care. And sometimes people hate a tribe, right? They hate the Eldrazi. The elves are just they don't like playing against elves. Or they don't, whatever it is. But you feel something.
Yeah.
And I think that's incredible. And the cards that you love. I mean, look at Coleman and elves. Coleman loves elves.
That guy loves him some elves.
And then you've got people like, to mention someone who I've never even met, but Hella Kevin loves goblins. Like, I'm not sure if, by the way, let's just do a quick plug here. If you're ever wanting to build modern goblins, check out someone on Reddit called Hella Kevin or online. Phenomenal goblins player. Absolutely the writer of my favorite primer of all time. So, it is time for us to go by the look of it, but that was a great, I don't know. I'm happy to end the stream on the note of talking about something like that.
Absolutely.
So, in the meantime, keep with us. We don't have that sub button yet, but we'll keep triumphantly moving towards it and trying to get to that point to where you can support us as you wish. Feel free to support the store as you are able to. We will do our best to continue producing sweet content that makes you want to be a part of this community. And I guess that's where we're going to go. Now, we are going to host you over to someone.
Drop one orders.
I'm probably going to do that. Awesome person. That would not be a bad one, though.
Okay.
Let's do that one. All right, so we're gonna host you all over to I'm not sure if it's Holy Diva or Holy Diva. I'll be honest with you, but
It looks like Diva.
we are gonna put you over. A lot of fun to be in that chat. I'm sure I'll be over there in a little bit. So, if you find your way over there, I'm sure I'll be in the chat as Red Baron MTG. We can talk a little bit, have some fun. In the meantime, we're going to call it, and be sure to join us on Friday. And remember, Sunday, Pauper Tournament. It's going to be a good time. But, from all of us at Geek Fortress, happy to be back. My name's TJ.
I'm Bryce.
And whether it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, we absolutely hope that it's a great one. And we look forward to seeing you all next time. We'll see you there.